really don't know how I feel about this. I watched some of it, and I don't know. I gotta be honest. I agree with some points, and then other points are really bad. I think this first video is pretty bad, with some major things. Are you familiar with like any of these people on screen right now? This is LS Mark, Turkey Tom's old friend. That's Johnny Two Cellos. He covers animation. Slush is in this video for some reason. You might know who Slush is. And then there's like the Simpsons girl or something who covers the Simpson episodes. This is like a commentary content nuke video on like a YouTuber who created like an AI farm or whatever. And it's actually kind of interesting to see what's happening here. So I thought we would watch some of this today. I don't think we'll watch the whole thing of any of these videos, but we'll just get our feet wet and kind of hear what he has to say.
Facebook
because
and
I think that a lot of this video is very sloppy. This Blooms guy who made a very sloppy video. And he ended up winning, but spoiler alert, but it was very sloppy.
Over the past 2 months, I've been doing some digging. I've spent countless hours searching through old Facebook posts, private courses.
And you gotta hear, like, so a lot of people say, hey dude, when AI comes, and it is coming for your industry, how will you respond? And for a YouTube commentary channel like myself, retrospective content, that is definitely something to think about. Like, it is very possible that retrospective content could have, like, AI summaries made, but a lot of this stuff is timing. You have to make the video as quickly as possible. For a daily shitter or a stream channel, I'm not really worried about AI taking my job anytime soon, especially being a streamer, to be honest. But for animation review channels, like the South Park reviewers and the Simpson reviewers, this is a much larger problem that's really here to stay. Recently, they did exposés on channels that were just doing episode summaries, and they were coming out as if they were normal YouTubers, or they were hiring voice actors that were using AI voices, either one, right? And they were just summarizing episodes of TV shows, which is genius, by the way. It's weird, but it's also genius because a lot of the bad video reviewers, all they really did was go, here's what happened in the movie and the episode, and they really didn't have much input. Like, a lot of YouTube video, movie, TV show review really got to a stale place where it felt like I was just watching some guy tell me what happened, and then the video ended. Has anybody clicked on a video to hear what their favorite, like, movie YouTuber has to say, and by the end of it, you just kind of retread the plot? Those people are the first to die to AI. Those are the first people to lose, because these AI channels can do it way faster than you. And like, it's the lazy commentator that gets killed first, and then like the other people get suffocated out, because some AI channel can literally do every episode of The Simpsons in like a weekend and post them daily and make it look like a 40-minute video essay. So I understand why they freak out about this stuff. It's much easier to take over their niche, and they really have to start, if they weren't already, some of these guys have been doing it the whole time, they really have to add something. They have to give their opinion, they have to make cool video concepts, stuff that like AI couldn't just reproduce, which makes their job harder now, because they can't just make the easy slop content. They're competing with something they can't win against. This is a little different, though. This is using AI to do their type of content faster, better. Well, maybe not better. I wouldn't say better, but faster, functional, through a team of people.
And even going undercover.
Wait, that's so true. I'm sitting here shitting on him. Wavy literally just brought up Quentin Reviews. Quentin Reviews made like an entire iCarly video, and it just feels like he's just retreading the plot of like every episode of iCarly. There's not, people are like, well, there's no way there's like fucking 12 hours of stuff to say about iCarly. Yeah, there is, if you retread the plot of every single episode and farm tons of money off of it. But
to try to put the pieces of this puzzle together. All of this exhaustive research, the hours upon hours spent searching for the missing pieces, all to uncover the truth behind a South Park video essay.
He never proved it's AI. Well, we're gonna get to the video. I don't want to preempt it too hard, but I mean, if it wasn't AI, then what he did is really shitty, because this guy quit. The guy we're going to talk about in this video has quit completely. He's moved on to other channels.
A channel that just felt off. So you all might remember a little
It's clearly... All right, stop debating me on this. I'm reading chat messages before we get to watch it. We'll get there.
Video I made almost 2 years ago now called, "Can I make a South Park video essay only using AI?" Well, back when I made that video, the answer was yes, but it would be terrible. Well, a lot has changed in those 2 years, and my silly little video I made testing the limits of AI has become reality. And during this research, I might have accidentally uncovered a network of thousands of channels doing the exact same thing, lying, deceiving, and
The problem with this video, as you're going to see it, is it's in chronological order, which normally isn't an issue, but he includes stuff that, like, doesn't lead anywhere. And then, like, it makes the video look weaker because I just spent 20 minutes going through this through line or whatever. No, 20 minutes is a little excessive. But you go through this through line, it's like, well, that's the end of the research on this.
Manipulating their viewers, all in the name of making a quick buck. And the worst part about all of this is that the vast majority of people aren't able to recognize this deception. In fact, there's a pretty good chance that they may have fooled you at one point. And you know, I wasn't initially planning on making this video. I don't like drama or calling people out or any of that stuff.
By the way, stereotypical non-drama YouTuber, drama YouTuber mentality. You know, guys, I really didn't want to make this video. I'm not one of those drama guys who likes to milk drama content. I'm much more sophisticated. I review episodes of South Park. Every time, dude. Every fucking time. I think this is why more drama YouTubers don't cover any of this stuff, because they have to give huge disclaimers that they're not as bad as we are.
But this was different. This was personal. This is hurting the community that I care so much about, diminishing the work that me and so many others have put into something we're passionate about, and blocking others who share that passion from the success that they deserve. And they're doing this by creating a soulless entity of a machine that is fueled by generative AI, and they are dead set on using this machine to extract every last penny they can from a community that they couldn't care less about. Now, you may not understand why exactly this is such a bad thing, which is why I felt the need to make this video, but I figured it would be best if you didn't just take my word for it. So, I made some calls.
The crazy thing is, and I'm going to pose this to you right now before we get started, Turkey Tom is 1 degree of separation away from this. And the degree of separation is the usage of AI. Everything that they're going to accuse this YouTuber of, Turkey Tom does, with the exception of AI. So I want to see where the line would be.
Call in everyone.
I basically assembled the Avengers of YouTubers who over-
Oh, by the way, all of the things look like this. Every time that he plays like a skit, it's terrible. But yes.
Everyone.
I basically assembled the Avengers of YouTubers who overanalyze cartoons. So, let's meet the team. LS Mark, the established, outspoken veteran. A valuable asset to the team, just don't get on his bad side. Johnny Two Cellos,
I don't want to
analytical, logical...
Alright, I think this video is good before I make fun of it. Okay, stop.
Try to hide any underlying
not
themes
great.
in your media.
I don't know if good is the right word. Oh no.
Just stop.
Isn't LS... Yes, that is the same LS Mark. Yep.
He'll find them. The Simpsons Theory, aka Lydia Loves Timelines. The deep diving, theory crafting wild card. Underestimate her.
Okay, dude, this is like the fucking setup scene from Rick and Morty when they're gonna do a heist.
And she'll show you why that's a mistake. Slush, the fearless up-and-comer. You may not know his name yet, but you will soon enough. And
people have been telling me that about Slush for years. You know how many people have told me you might not know Slush yet, but you'll know him soon enough? I feel like every year somebody gasses me up about how big Slush is gonna be. Dude, they've been saying this shit for like 4 years now.
Then there's me, the South Park guy. The one that's like, I guess, one that's like kind of passionate. No, whatever. The intros are a work in progress. This team of expert cartoon YouTubers,
dude, rising star winner.
Me have assembled with one goal and one.
I gotta be honest with you. The second video has the worst skit. That was the better one. But again, we're through the skit now. We can say more positive things. Please don't hate me.
Goal only to save the community from the evil forces of.
Please stop. Please stop.
AI content farms by taking out their leader.
Dude, this is what every Twitter user thinks that like. Dude, I
Ceric
can't.
Artman.
And the guy's name is Ceric Artman.
Of AI content farms by taking out their leader, Ceric Artman. Let's do this. But first, let's start from the beginning.
All right, this is getting better. Better music choice.
Honestly, digging into this has just made my life worse all around, but you know what's actually made my life a lot better? Today's sponsor, Raycon. I've been
Okay, sick. I'm gonna just
Raycon.com with South Park
use our link instead. It's on the Half Baked channel.
episode about toxic relationships. Oh, interesting. I made a video like that on .com/blooms. So if you're looking for a new pair of high quality earbuds, go get yourself a pair of Raycons. And a huge thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video.
Got it.
Around 2 months ago, I was casually scrolling through my recommended page on YouTube, as I tend to do, when a video caught my attention. The South Park episode about toxic relationships. Oh, interesting. I made a video like that a while ago. I wonder if this person has anything interesting or original to say about the topic. Maybe some things I missed
Oh god.
in my video. Let's check it out. I started the video and immediately thought, man, this editing, scripting, and narrating all seem pretty professional. I'm surprised I've never heard of this channel. I look at the name of the channel, Ceric Artman. Okay, well that name kinda sucks. Just move the C from Cartman's last name in front of his first name. I mean, not super original.
This is why I think this video is kind of quirky. It's like he does bring some good arguments, but he spends time dissing the guy's name not being original enough. And this stuff just like,
Did I not ask you nicely?
it grinds, like my soy meter is exploding right now.
Oh no!
Or catchy, you're really
Wow,
everything
that's
good
not
about
very
it, but,
original of
hey,
you,
I'm named
see?
after fire,
Yeah.
so who am I to judge? So I look at how many subscribers they have, and I notice they only have like 1,000. Huh. That's weird. Surely they must have been doing this for a long time and just haven't found that much success yet. So I clicked on their channel, and their first video was uploaded less than 3 weeks ago. Huh, that's even weirder, and in that time they've uploaded... Wait, how many videos? 7? They uploaded 7 20 to 30 minute long analysis videos in 18 days. That's one video every 2.5 days.
Do you remember? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me when Illuminati came up to me asking for help because r/ showed up and beat all the Redditors because he found the glitch in the Matrix by naming himself r/. So when every single time someone typed a subreddit into YouTube, it popped up with his channel. Now, I think that guy botted subs. I think it's pretty clear he botted subs, but whatever. Disagreements. They were upset that he was botting subscribers, and they thought it wasn't fair. And it reminds me so much of this situation.
It's me 7 months to upload 7 videos. Granted, that's more because I don't understand basic time management stuff, but even still, if the only thing I did from the time I woke up until the time I go to sleep every single day...
Wait, she did? Yeah, so she, Illuminati, just funny story, said that this r/ guy botted, showed some pretty compelling evidence to us privately, then told us that r/ swatted her, and later she went into business with him. So that's who Blair is, just to be clear. She claims she went into business with her swatter. So yeah.
A was working on writing, narrating, editing, and making thumbnails, I might be able to upload a video every 3 to 4 days at the most. And that would be me literally committing every single waking hour of my life to doing that. And those videos would be terrible. So it was immediately obvious to me that there were multiple people working on this channel, which in itself is suspicious. There's nothing wrong with having multiple people working on a channel. Most YouTubers will begin to outsource work once they're—
You'll have people like this who have, like, again, Slazo. Pick Slazo for an example. He created the channel MK. He hired a guy to be the voice actor to read Reddit posts. Is that amoral? Well, Slazo is not running the channel. He owns the channel and takes a percentage of the revenue while he built this other person's channel, who then ultimately became a creator in his own right. But is it bad because Slazo manages another YouTuber? Is that where the line is? And you're going to see we constantly just go further and further away until we reach AI. So we're going to keep those food for thought questions coming.
Already well established, things like editing and thumbnails. But to start a brand new channel with multiple people who are clearly experienced, this was an immediate red flag. To put it in perspective a little bit, here is a clip from Ceric Artman.
And by the way, that's before he's even considering it's like AI. I don't think that's a red flag in and of itself, but that's just me.
First video.
South Park has made a lot of iconic episodes, a couple of questionable ones, and 2 that made fans fear that the show is going to get canceled because they were so serious.
And here's a clip from my first video.
That I'm not entirely sure if this concept has an actual name, so go ahead and
Wow, like again, this is not like a good example. I do think that like as technology has gotten better, as getting a better microphone has gotten cheaper, as people are more aware of what to buy. Like, yeah, dude, my first video was when I had a high-pitched voice, well, I guess a higher-pitched voice, right? When I was using a Dazzle capture card to awkwardly film like an NHL gameplay video or something. That was my first video, but that was one of them, right? Obviously, somebody who starts today is going to have a much higher quality video than you did even 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Let me know in the comments if it does, but I like to call it flipping the script. This writing technique is definitely my personal favorite.
I hope he has stronger accusations that the channel is AI, because I personally don't think it's a bad look. I think it's a bad look punching down. So here's the thing. I do think the reason why I'm not dogging the video super hard and grinding it into the dirt is because I think eventually it gets pretty compelling, and then he ends up, spoiler alert, interviewing people who worked on the channel. So it's not, there are problems with this video, but it's not the worst thing ever.
And at that point,
It all comes together. It's a work in progress. I'm just going to point out some of the bad shit when we get there. Well, while we get there.
I mean, I had been making videos on and off since I was a child.
This is like my expected drama YouTube video from a guy who doesn't make drama videos. Like, this is, you got to give it like you have to like tax the video a little bit and kind of expect some things to be shitty, because this guy doesn't make drama videos, and he thinks he's seen a couple of them, so he's probably pretty good at it.
So was Ceric Artman just a literal
It's not like a pass, but it's kind of an understood thing that you're not going to have a perfect watch
savant in the South Park video essay niche? I was suspicious, but I decided to keep watching the video, and I quickly realized that my initial impression of high-quality content was pretty far from reality. The editing was flashy and eye-catching, but felt generic and soulless.
The editing felt generic and soulless. By the way, just to be clear, the editing was being done by humans. So yeah.
Writing was frankly boring. Mostly summarizing episodes felt generic and soulless.
Like, I understand why people are having a problem with this already, because it's just like, the editing was soulless.
Frankly boring.
The script writing was boring.
Mostly summarizing episodes.
It does sound like a bunch of big YouTubers got together in a room and they're like, this small channel is getting way too big, way too fast. They need to be more mindful of that.
Episodes with very surface level observational commentary without really saying anything.
This is when Carmen and Heidi start to turn into one of those disgusting couples that wear matching outfits, do everything together, and just rub their happiness in everyone else's faces. It's annoying AF.
They threw a couple of...
That's one of the things that gets me thinking that, like, some of the stuff he says here, it's very clear that this narrator who's doing this video is like one taking it. That was some weird delivery.
Jokes in there occasionally, but it just felt like these jokes were added on top of an existing script.
It's like, haha, what is that? Apparently that would happen a lot, where it would just be this weird, poorly voice-acted segment that just sounds like the joke is not landing.
Script. And the narration.
And you could chalk that up to a new YouTuber not really understanding the timing, but...
not put my finger on it, but something...
in this case, that wasn't true.
Was wrong. It was off. The inflections, the emotion, everything. It was just off. It was uncanny, unsettling, maybe even inhuman. It felt like some things were supposed to be jokes, but it was being read by someone who didn't know it was a joke.
All right, just disclaimer, because we're coming from the future and we already know how this ends. He does a whole segment here about how this voice isn't real. It is a guy. It is a real guy. He's not completely off, but like, he really thinks this is an AI voice, and it's just not. So that is a completely false allegation that is placed in here. And to be clear, he never definitively says so, but he spends a very long amount of time trying to prove it across multiple videos.
And the script had this pattern where they would just have this surface level commentary, then a weird tangent that seems barely related to the topic before returning to the commentary.
Denying them their God-given right to adoration is a sin. And Carmen is about to get diabolical on that little sinner, Heidi.
Okay, that is a really crazy thing to say.
And Carmen is about to get diabolical on that little sinner, Heidi.
Okay, so I understand what, but like, you play clips like that and you're like, this had to be written by AI. Like, the guy would know that doesn't sound good.
I was only like 2 minutes into the video and I was so confused. There was no structure, just chunks of commentary glued together by basic jokes. And then this happened.
However, about 6 months in, your fantasies start colliding with reality and the halo starts to fade. So you realize that your girlfriend is not quite the perfect angel you had in your head. For starters, she never shuts up. She just wants to talk and 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 talk. It's not so bad when you're with her because you can always shut her up by putting something in her mouth.
Okay, so what the fuck was that? That's a really weird thing to put in a South Park video, objectively.
Huh?
But when you're apart and you're on the second hour of a FaceTime call,
Dude, it just keeps going. He just keeps unpausing it. He just keeps talking.
listening to her tell a pointless story about a hairdresser who cuts 2 inches off of her friend's hair instead of 1 inch, you just want to yell at her to shut up.
What'd he say?
So you pretend to listen
Dude, could you imagine if you're just looping South Park videos while you're doing homework or something, and then all of a sudden you just hear this fucking random 3-minute rant about how he definitely hates his girlfriend in the middle of the video, just like placed in there awkwardly?
because you don't want to hurt her feelings. You probably sit there and keep toggling the Wi-Fi on and off and on and off over and over again just to make the call buffer, and then blame it on her having a
Bro, this is so personal. I've never even thought to like fuck with the Wi-Fi to try to make the call buffer. That's crazy.
poor network connection. She wants foreplay. She wants you to be romantic. Take her out more. Call her more. Blah, 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 blah.
What the fuck was that? Was that supposed to be a joke? Why did we just spend nearly 3 minutes of the video talking about this dude's hatred for his girlfriend?
Yeah, like,
If it was a joke,
unironically,
it was
that's
certainly hard to tell,
crazy.
considering the narrator sounds like an
Like, that's actually fucking crazy.
alien attempting to mimic human emotion the entire time. Nothing in his voice made it sound like he was joking or being sarcastic, so if he was, he certainly needs to work on his delivery. And I don't need to point out how, if this isn't a joke, it essentially invalidates anything this guy has to say about Cartman being a narcissist, considering he
Dude, I didn't know where he was going to go with that, but that is so true. If that is his position, then I really don't want to hear what he has to say about Eric Cartman being a narcissist.
doesn't realize that his own behavior could be
That's unironically like a crazy good point.
used in the DSM-5 as an example of
Okay, I got a little less good.
considering he doesn't realize that his own behavior could be used in the DSM-5
Anytime that you cite the DSM-5 as a YouTuber, you look like a fucking weirdo. That's just like an objective fact.
as an example of narcissistic behavior.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Diagnosis. Dude, we have a YouTube diagnosis going on right now. Here. Oh, shit.
Now,
It's anything this guy free. And I don't need to point out how, if this isn't a joke, it essentially invalidates anything this guy has to say about Cartman being a narcissist, considering he doesn't realize that his own behavior could be used in the DSM-5 as an example of narcissistic behaviors.
now, unlike me, Cartman is a psychopathic, narcissistic monster demon spawn.
I'm barely even a third of the
The
way through this video.
DSM-5 is what YouTubers pull up to explain why their favorite YouTuber is or is not a pedophile. Well, if you look at pedophilic disorder, for the DSM-5, it is defined as...
And I am so confused at this point. So many things just didn't add up about all of this. And I couldn't get over that narrator. Why did he sound like that? Why was he constantly
I studied psychologic. Yeah, I studied psychologic.
mispronouncing easy words, almost like he was reading a typo exactly?
That rackles Cartman to no end. I had my barber empathize my hairline every time I got a haircut.
Wait, what?
Cartman to no end. I had my barber empathize my hairline
My barber empathized my hairline.
every time I got a haircut.
How could he be so clueless he doesn't even know how to make the jokes correctly? In another video, he literally made a joke about Compound V from The Boys, but this is how he read it.
Before he drank Compound 5 and got jacked,
At first, I didn't even understand how you make
Okay, so this is where the, oh, this guy is AI thing comes from, and it's not totally unfounded. To call Compound V Compound 5 when it is such like a, like, people who don't watch the show know what Compound V is, but that is something that like an AI could fuck up. It wouldn't be like crazy to see an AI do that.
this mistake, but then I realized that they were reading it as if it were the Roman numeral V, like Compound.
All right, it's hard for me to defend this because I know the guy isn't AI, but there are more examples that kind of explain his thought process it is kind of like he's doing this in chronological order. It's why I said it in the beginning. So when people are going, well, this isn't a lot of evidence so far, it's because he's not front stacking it with anything or kind of even leaving any breadcrumbs. He's just kind of, oh, I'm so dead. I'm alive. I'm alive. He's not leaving breadcrumbs. He's just telling the story in the order it happened, and it's not good for this type of video.
5. So I decided to watch more of their videos, and all of them had these same small issues. At first glance, the videos were totally fine, yet if you really listen and think about what they're saying, it's wrong. All these weird issues made it obvious to me that the person reading this script is obviously not the person writing the script. At the very least, they hired someone to read the script and gave them absolutely no context about what they were reading or any of the jokes.
Shocking detail. That is the reality of it.
And they are just totally clueless on everything, or something even more nefarious is going on. Something inhuman. But we'll talk.
It wasn't that. It was the first one.
More about that in a little bit. And the craziest part about this was all the comments were totally positive. I didn't see a single comment.
Yeah, it's because the reality is everything that you as a YouTuber look at and you go, oh, this AI thing, it's so soulless. It's so inhuman. It sounds like an artist when they're pointing out like, oh, the AI art is clearly derivative of work that could be done from even the cheapest artist or something like that. Where like the most, like look at a boomer who gets AI on their new iPhone and they're like, dude, look at this. I can make Obama smoking a joint. Isn't this cool? Like the average person who's not hyper fucking online really doesn't care about the quality difference between the two. They just want like an assistant that can be used vocally that will make whatever they want. Right? So when people like this who are YouTubers, creators, who spend their times making these like videos and stuff like that, see AI, they're like, oh, this is soulless. This is like a cash grab. This is garbage content. Who would watch this? And it's like, your demographic. If they wouldn't watch it, there'd be no incentive for this AI stuff to keep going. But the reality is your demographic probably wouldn't really even be able to tell the difference. That's why you have to make videos like this, because that's pretty scary. Now, I mean, tell the difference is a little absurd, but I think that there's a certain percentage of the YouTube audience who are watching these cartoon videos that were totally okay with watching the AI summary videos, not even realizing what they were watching was AI. That's a scary thought that they're going to have to fucking understand, but yeah.
Pointing out any
like at the end of the day, people watch my streams for background noise. I don't try to get real hyped up and tell you all about how awesome these streams are and these stream highlights. These are made for like long drives or long study sessions or background fodder for while you're playing Call of Duty right along with me, right? Some of these guys think that their like deep thought is like infallible. It's like it's the pull for the channel. When I mean lesser content creators get big all the time, but now they can do it faster and better than your upload schedule ever was.
thing that I've pointed out. Everyone was just talking about how they're an underrated channel. I couldn't find anyone criticizing them.
Yeah, none of these people probably knew.
At all. I felt like I was losing my mind. How am I the only one that recognizes all this weird stuff going on? I have a bad feeling about this, and I really need to figure out what the hell is going on with this channel. I immediately had my suspicions as to what exactly they were doing, but I needed some proof. I needed to get to the bottom of this. So I started digging.
All right, this is a little bad. This section is a little weird. There's some useful stuff in here, and there's also crazy, like, doesn't go anywhere shit too.
The first thing I noticed is the thumbnails and titles of their first videos. If you watch channels like mine, these are probably familiar to you. That's because these thumbnails and titles are direct copies of 3 videos made by Made to Express, another YouTuber. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking inspiration from people's thumbnails or titles.
So we're talking about AI, and our first example is they stole a thumbnail. Again, not boding super well, but we'll keep going.
I've done it before. Every YouTuber does it to some degree. I've even been inspired by this exact thumbnail and title before. But the difference is, mine is inspired, but not copied. I used aspects of his titles and thumbnails, but I still made it my own. And because I thought that even still this might be too similar, I even credited Made to Express in the description, and he didn't seem to mind. This, on the other hand, this is not inspiration. This is stealing. I mean, just look at them. If you saw these two videos side by side, there'd be no way to tell which is which. What this tells me is that, from the beginning, they don't seem to be the most ethical content creators. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever, but
bro.
it's certainly...
Like, I ultimately have a point that oh my god, ah! Holy, bro, I just got killed by spiders. Oh my
not
god.
a great look.
Dude, I changed the title to blue. Yeah.
So I thought, maybe I could get in contact
You see, like, where this goes, right? Where it's like, I guess this is not an ethical content creator.
with them. Explain to them that this isn't
It's about ethics and content create. Yeah, I knew you guys weren't gonna like that line.
cool, and get them to explain all the other weird stuff that I've noticed in their videos. So I checked the description. Nothing. So I checked their channel bio. Nothing. Another red flag. This seemingly professionally run YouTube channel has absolutely no social media links or contact besides a business email.
I don't think that any of these are like huge red flags. I think that stealing thumbnails is bad, but having no contact information probably doesn't matter.
Weird. Well, looks like I'm not getting in contact with them. But now I knew that they were willing to steal other people's titles and thumbnails, so I thought, what else are they not being so honest about?
Clearly they're an AI hub with like a team of people who are like spitting content on the screen as fast as humanly possible and using all the like I mean, you understand, like, obviously we're gonna get there, but like it's a very weak opening act.
I go back to the description and noticed how formulaic it seems. Almost reminds me of how I would write my discussion posts in college. Wait, I copy and pasted some of the descriptions into an AI detector and, yep, 100% AI generated.
He also thinks that the AI generated text things are accurate, which they are not.
So they
Yep,
use
100%.
ChatGPT to write their descriptions. Again, on its own, this isn't the worst thing in the world, but considering how blatantly they were willing to use
And he just says that like it's just, he has no idea. He literally has no idea.
AI, it continues to solidify this pattern of not so ethical behavior. I
promise, guys, this video gets like we get somewhere. Okay, we get somewhere.
the same with their scripts, which I speculated were also at least partially written by ChatGPT, but I couldn't get anything conclusive. So I moved to Google. I start simple. I type in Ceric Artman with quotes around it to make sure all the results have that name exactly. I scroll for a while, not really getting any information until I stumble across this Facebook post that was made in a video editors group on Facebook. Urgently, need a professional video editor who...
Dude, I'm sorry. I was just looking at random things and I stumbled into this random Facebook post from a video editing Facebook group.
can create animation videos like this. This same post was actually made in several Facebook groups, a couple different video editing groups, one called YouTube Cash Cows and one called Pakistani Video Editors Hire.
Dude, this guy was just like, oh, he was watching a couple of YouTube videos and he sneezed and ended up in Pakistani Video Hires Facebook group.
I wondered if the person making these posts was the owner of the Ceric Artman channel. If he was, maybe I could find out more about their operation. So I began searching through his Facebook page and I noticed he claims to be the co-founder of a company. So I look up this company and I end up on their website. The company claims to be a software development partner, and as I click through their website, I notice their generative AI package. They give some examples of things you could do with it, and the first one is most interesting to me. AI-driven content creation? I look through the site's about page where they list all of their employees, and I noticed that all of them are either
Bro found this on the last page of Google.
from India or Pakistan.
When I will grow up, I will be army and save Pakistan and destroy.
Okay, what the fuck is... What the fuck am I watching?
Army and save Pakistan and destroy India.
This is like the same thing as the other stuff. It's like, what? Why? Why is this in this video? Nick, did you add this? No, this is his video. This, I swear to God, this is Bloom's.
Well, that explains the posts made in the Pakistani Facebook groups, and the fact that some of the posts claimed he was looking for only...
Dude, I can't believe we're watching a South Park video and he goes, this explains the fucking... I can't, dude. This explains the post in the Pakistani Facebook group. Dude, I can't believe nobody else in our community is covering this.
Pakistani video editors. In fact, it seems like almost all of the hundreds of thousands of people in these Facebook groups are Indian or Pakistani.
Dude, these fucking Indians are taking over the commentary community.
Huh.
My pledge is to help people who are who need for like people money and all this.
He's going to help the people in Pakistan. Great.
So I
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry. I'm so lost right now. I am so lost.
spent a few hours digging through all of their LinkedIn pages and trying to find any connections, but the most I could find is one of the co-founders has YouTube creator in their list of jobs on LinkedIn. I didn't get anything conclusive, but as I did one last scan of their website, I noticed a link for a Discord server. Obviously, I couldn't join on my main account, or that could be pretty suspicious, and if I wanted to talk to the person that made the post, he seemed only interested in Pakistani people, so I had to go undercover. The name I came up with, Stan Marsh.
Oh god, dude. Please don't play that.
It looked Pakistani enough for me, so I joined the server. The server was...
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I can't. That's... I needed to look Pakistani, so I named myself Stan Marsh, and I joined... This is totally inconspicuous. I'm not researching the AI Eric Artman channel.
literally just me and the
I really thought right after when I unpaused, it would do like a thing where like da 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 da. Like,
employees, and as I searched through it, most of the channels were blocked. I was able to find 2 flyers though, one advertising their generative AI and chatbots, and another advertising their graphic design services, which specifically included YouTube thumbnails as one of their examples. I tried to message the dude that made the Facebook posts initially to act like I was interested in the job, but they never got back to me, which I gotta admit kinda offended me a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure my resume is a little better than most of their editors, but after that, that was it. That was all the info I could gather about this company. I hit a dead end. Was this...
So this is like... Hitting a dead end here does not feel good. We're 16 minutes into this video, and him saying, I can't tie this to the guy I'm making the video on, does not start off the video strong. And again, most of the people are only watching to this or less, so this is like a totally wasted time if you're not watching the whole video.
It's actually the person who ran the Ceric Artman channel, or was this someone just trying to imitate them? I couldn't be certain. However, it was strange that this dude who runs a software engineering company is making posts looking for editors to work on cartoon analysis YouTube videos, and it's kind of coincidental that they seem to have a specialty in generative AI considering my theories. But regardless, that was it. There was nothing else for me to find. I was stumped. I never found any concrete evidence that this channel is tied to the company, and I also never really found any significant proof that Ceric Artman was doing anything wrong, besides me.
Alright, so like, this is like a wall here. I don't know why. This video could have been so much different.
Maybe copying thumbnails. So, I gave up. There was nothing I could do. I just had to live with the fact that Ceric Artman's gonna exist and continue to get more and more popular, despite...
But then I found more stuff that wasn't that. Then why did we put it all in there?
Knowing deep down that something was wrong, and I just could not get over the narrator. What were they doing? Why did the narration sound like that? It was so weird, but there was nothing I could do. So, I gave up. For exactly one day, because the very next day, I got this DM on Twitter. Can I edit South Park videos for you? Here is my recent edit. Oh my god. This is exactly what I was...
So this guy had absolutely nothing to work off of, and then by pure happenstance, one of the editors from the Ceric Artman channel wanted to get, like, more money. And then he literally fucking just reached out to work for the channel because he's like, hey, I edit these channels for a big YouTuber. Could I potentially do yours as well? Yeah, that's that.
Looking for. I thought there was no way I'd ever get in contact with these people, and yet here they are on my doorstep reaching out to me. So
like this whole investigation dies if this guy doesn't like just write him at the perfect time.
Thought about it for a few days and decided I can't let this opportunity pass me by. I'd consider it. If you don't mind me asking, do you make these videos yourself or just edit them? And if not, do you know who writes and narrates them? Now, obviously...
So he's like, hey, I work for Ceric Artman. I would love to edit for you. And he's like, wow, that's so cool. Can you tell me the inner workings of your boss's system? Like, oh, good. Cool.
Obviously, I had no intentions of actually hiring this person, considering how much I disliked that editing
Obviously, I wasn't gonna hire this fucking charlatan
style they use, but I knew the only way they would give me any information is if I acted interested. And it worked. I only edit them. The one who writes the script is someone else from the team. So immediately we...
Uh-oh. we've got the Avengers on the other
confirmation
side.
of
The,
what we
the
already
Legion of Doom, in fact.
knew pretty much, and that's that this is a team of people working together. Now, honestly, just having proof that this is a team of people working on this channel is enough proof to me to say that this is a pretty scummy thing to do. If you watch any of their videos, the narrator is always talking in the first person. Same with any comments he makes on the videos or any community posts he makes. It's always, I am doing this, or I never would have known.
This is cringe. This is where I personally have a problem with this whole video, is because they have, at this point, no evidence of AI, and they're saying, well, there's a team of people who are making a content, and they talk in the first person, therefore, this is scummy behavior. This is literally just like what Turkey Tom does with his channel. Tom has a scriptwriter, he's got a editor, he's got, and this is for main channel, obviously. He does all his stuff on his second channel, but I mean, I don't think he writes his main channel videos anymore. If he does, it's more recent because he wasn't for a while. And it's like, well, he talks in the first person, so they're expecting this to be Turkey Tom's opinion. It's just like, I don't think any of this matters. This just sounds kind of cringe and soy.
It's never the team or we. Even the bio of the channel said posting.
Like, it sounds like they would be totally okay with icing this channel, even if they couldn't prove it had anything to do with AI from this point right here. And this video might have still existed if they couldn't have proved anything with AI.
Weekly South Park video essays where I go over topics and how South Park has handled them. Clearly, the people running this channel want it to seem like it's one person. Like, this is just a dude that
Yeah, I don't think that matters at all.
likes South Park and is making videos about it. They're going out of their way to hide the fact that this is actually a team of people working on this. Now, again, I have no issue with a team of people working on a YouTube channel. The issue is that they're lying about it. This isn't just some dude that's uploading his South Park videos from his dorm room. This is a full-blown, professionally done operation. And this professional operation...
So, what I feel like this is invoking in me is, you guys remember when T-Series was coming to YouTube and people were like, it feels like TV is taking over a creator space. And people were getting angry about that. And, well, because it was like YouTube is promoting Jimmy Kimmel, and I, the casual YouTuber, don't get those opportunities anymore, even though this was our platform. And then, like, some people got upset about that and other people adapted. And now there are some people who create these content mills and stuff. And it's like, well, technically they're still people with their dream, right? What are they? Are they allowed to do that too? I don't know.
Cosplaying as some dude that makes South Park videos in order to avoid the stigma that comes with being a content farm, that's pretty fucked up. But I still had so many unanswered questions. I wanted to find out exactly what was going on, and I wanted to prove that there was something weird about that narrator. So I asked the editor, okay, then who writes the scripts? He's a guy from Kenya.
Dude, I'm sorry, that's just a crazy soundbite. Who writes the scripts?
Then who writes the scripts? He's a guy from Kenya. Huh? Kenya?
What is Bunty King to you?
I was definitely not
Who is
expecting
Bunty
that,
King?
so I think it's safe to say that the scriptwriter is not the same person
Kenya? Ew, no.
as the narrator. I mean, maybe I'm being stereotypical, but that doesn't
Maybe I'm being stereotypical, but this white dude is not what I expected when I heard Kenya.
really sound like what I would expect someone from Kenya to sound like. And by looking at the editor's Twitter page, it was obvious that he was Indian, so clearly he's not doing the narration either. So I need to know who is doing the narration. I know it seems like I'm kind of caught up on this, but I'm telling you, this was the thing that was driving me the most insane out of all of this. But after that absolute bombshell, I knew I needed to play it cool to keep this guy talking to me. So I give a long-winded response, pretty much glazing the editor and the channel, and I end it by asking for more information about this team that he claims to be a part of. This was the response I got. Yeah, the team runs multiple channels, so they are experienced. We are like 3 editors for one single 20-minute video. I'm the guy who edits the first 6 to 10 minutes of the video because intro part matters. Okay. Another absolute bombshell. Now, obviously, I had my suspicions that this content farm probably spanned over multiple channels, but to have it just confirmed outright to me like that was shocking.
This guy doesn't want to see people from third world countries prosper. Yeah, it's like I was watching this and about 20 minutes in, I just didn't give a fuck about anything this guy had to say. It just didn't make sense to me. And I know VOD watchers are going to be fucking seething when this video pops up, but the reality of the situation is, if it was just these critiques, I would have no problem with this channel's existence.
To say the least. So now we know for certain that this team consists of at least 4 members, 3 editors, and
I still don't have a problem with them existing, realistically. If they wanted to keep going, I wouldn't be like, no, you can't do that. But like, I do understand why people are mad about it.
1 writer. Plus, There has to be a narrator somewhere because obviously no one that we've talked to so far is doing the narration. So I took a moment to think about it, and when I did, I realized something else. You're telling me that a team of 4 people is capable of completing a 20 to 30 minute video essay and uploading it every 2 days, and apparently running several other channels at the same time. This is straight up impossible, and it further solidified my theories that they are clearly using some kind of AI technology to help with this. The editor continued and said that he doesn't know much insider stuff because he only joined it a month ago. He ended this response by saying that I am their competitor and that they are heavily inspired by me. Oh, really? Oh, really? The Ceric Artman channel, it's really...
Like, this sounds so soy, too, right here.
Inspired by me. No way. No, it's not. Really? Ceric Artman, inspired by my videos. No. No. So I respond in a similar manner, asking if they have a name for their group or if they work for a company or what. And he responds by saying that he doesn't know, he never looked into it, and he just joined a Facebook group one day called Ceric Artman. Something tells me that he might just be playing dumb and he does in fact know if he works for a company or not. But for whatever reason, he is hesitant to share that information. After that, I ended up chatting with him a little bit about YouTube just to keep the rapport going. I didn't really get any more information, but at this point, I was fully back into this investigation. And coincidentally, not too long after this, the YouTubers Slush and LS Mark happened to drop their videos about the white thumbnail channels.
So white thumbnail channels are interesting. Essentially, these are what I was talking about before, where they just retread the entire cartoon or whatever, and they just explain the whole plot. And then that was enough to, like, boost the channel, because it would be they would upload, like, daily videos reading the plot, essentially, of shows, which I do think is bad. That shouldn't probably be allowed. That's crazy. Because, I mean, a lot of these guys basically survive off the goodwill of the companies to not come in and, like, destroy their channels. And it sounds cringe to say that because their content is fair use and it should exist. But in most cases, music, movies, television, they don't really like this stuff. And they have more expensive lawyers than whatever YouTube they strike. So you kind of just eat shit on the strikes and stuff in this sector. Remember what happened to Totally Not Mark? They almost just raped his whole channel. It took like a community-wide outreach to support them after Toei decided they didn't want him to be a successful YouTuber anymore. So, yeah, if they just start retreading all the episodes and stuff like that, that probably is pretty harmful.
If you haven't seen those videos, I highly recommend you go watch them, but the shortened version is that YouTube has become infested with these channels that all have the exact same thumbnails for their videos and are basically just AI generated content.
This has to be really humbling to know that, like, your own audience will watch these AI videos or whatever and think that they are, like, new up-and-coming YouTubers in the space that is your community. That's got to be like a wake-up call. It's like, we got to make a little bit of better stuff, you know? Like, we have to up the game a little bit here.
Farms where they're pushing out these videos that are basically just summarizing episodes of cartoons. It's super lazy.
Because for years, there have been so many of these freaks coasting. And again, I'm not going after anybody even in this video, but there are a lot of YouTubers who are coasting off these, like, media literacy, breakdown videos that are just literal plot summary. It's like, yeah, so in this segment, this is what happens, then that happens, then this happens, and I thought it was bad. And, like, you guys are the first to go when the AI take over.
And more of these channels were popping up every day for different shows. And this is something that I had known about already, but what I realized is that this all sounds kind of familiar. In fact, this sounds a lot like what I speculate the Ceric Artman channel to be doing. But the difference is these white thumbnail channels were easy to call out because it was very obvious that these are all just AI generated slop. The Ceric Artman channel, on the other hand, did seem to put in more effort to concealing the fact that they were using AI, specifically in the scripting, since it seemed like they had a writer that would take the AI written script and piece it together to make it more human-like and add the jokes. Whereas these white channels seemed to just read directly from a ChatGPT script. But it was incredibly validating after researching this for so long to see that someone else is recognizing the similar patterns. But even following these videos being released, no one was calling out Ceric Artman specifically. So I decided to leave a comment on Mark and Slush's videos, basically saying that this rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than they even think it does, as there's channels that they might not even realize are AI generated. Now, the day before, I had been DMing with Johnny Two Cellos, and I actually mentioned this situation to him. I sent him basically all of the evidence.
So all the boys back at the lab, these are just all the YouTubers being introduced into the story. Let's zoom ahead here.
that I've Discord because he reached out to me after I had a temper tantrum in the comment section of his Pip video after he made a joke about me. I was being very sensitive.
Shocker. This guy met Slush because he had a meltdown about a comment. I'm shocked.
It's incredibly embarrassing looking back on it, but we're cool now, and I gave him all the information I had about this Ceric Artman stuff. And with that, I had 2 new recruits into this investigation. Immediately after joining, Slush then asked me if I had looked at Ceric Artman's community page. It hadn't even occurred to me, so when I went and looked, I was shocked by what I found. This is a very long post, so I'm just going to summarize the important parts. He makes a joke about being canceled. Again, all of the language used in this is very specifically designed to make it look like he's just one person, but he talks about how he uploaded a video called "Every Time Eric Cartman Deserved to Go to Jail," which then received a copyright strike, causing them to push it back. He even supplies us with proof of the fact that the video was...
By the way, guys, if you don't know, the Kenyan guys start responding. They posted a response video.
Done before Tuesday with a frame.io link. Now, basically,
that's
the reason
coming next.
He's specifying the day is because he claims he's being accused of copying another YouTuber. He also mentions that he really enjoys watching another creator called Sweaty Clam. Now, if you had watched those white thumbnail videos we're talking about, you would recognize that name immediately, because Sweaty Clam was one of these white thumbnail channels and was very clearly using AI. So the fact that Ceric Artman follows it up by saying he was making really quality content and he really recommends that everyone watches it is a little weird. And the fact that he was very clearly trying to create one of these white thumbnail videos is also really suspicious. So then he goes on to basically throw a pity party for himself, complaining about all the mean comments, saying that he was fearing for his safety and that he was getting messages directly targeting him, which obviously isn't true considering he's not one person, he's multiple people, and if it's the writer that's writing this, which is of course what I suspect, he lives in Kenya, so I don't think he has much to worry about. And my favorite part of this post is when he says, "So yeah, I let them get the better of me and took my video."
There is no doxing in Kenya. They don't dox there. That doesn't happen. Now, obviously, I get what he's saying here, but it's like, okay, well, he's getting a lot of shit right now, and he seems to be a new YouTuber, so isn't it kind of likely that if a new YouTuber is getting hate for the first time after his channel's been up for a couple of months or less, that he might react in a weird way? It seems pretty normal.
Offline. Congratulations. He also talks about his motivation for becoming a content creator and how it's to provide fun entertainment. Yeah, I'm sure. But honestly, I think the funniest part of all of this is the fact that obviously he's trying to appear as one person, but he was so focused on proving that he wasn't copying this dude that he uploaded the entire video to frame.io before it went live. But literally the entire purpose of frame.io is team collaboration on projects. So if you were really just one dude making videos, you would have literally no reason to have uploaded the video.
And the thing is, like, I don't know, like, a single YouTuber that this guy's size that does all the writing, editing, and all this stuff I mean, he claims he's only ever hired an editor twice, and I think I've only ever hired an editor once. Not for the podcast, though. The podcast has its own editor, so whatever. That's out of my hands, but I mean, I edit all my shit and stuff, and the expectation is that that's like a dying art form. There are very few YouTubers that do this. That don't have like some form of script writing, or at least helping them with script writing, especially as they get bigger for insurance purposes. They have full research. Tommy's had a news team since he's had like 10,000 subs, an entire team of people, put together those shot from the point shows. Maybe not so much now, but we used to have nightly news meetings where we'd wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And like, well, I would wake up at 1 in the morning. For them, it would be like daily times because they're in the UK and Europe and shit. But we would just do like news meetings, and the research and stuff would be done by everybody. We would like figure it out, and it would be handed to Tommy. Now, at the end of that, Tommy was still speaking. That was Tommy's voice. Those were Tommy's opinions. So it's not exactly the same thing. But I mean, there's every YouTuber basically these days who still does like main channel video essay content has like a team of people. Every single one of them.
This whole thing was incredibly dumb, but the biggest piece of information for our purposes was the fact that
most small YouTubers don't usually have this. Yeah, but then it just feels like you're kicking down, right? Because you got all well, we didn't do this when we were small. We did this when we were big. It feels like some king-making shit. It's like, you're not allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have that. We're supposed to have that. You're not allowed to have that yet. You know, it does kind of feel like that.
Was trying to create one of these white thumbnail channels, essentially. So that's a bit more like circumstantial evidence to say that they're probably using AI because all of those channels are. It was around this time that I was scrolling through my YouTube recommended page, which I tend to do, when something caught my eye. Huh. Somer Himpson. You know, that's kind of the same naming scheme as Ceric Artman. And you know what else? These thumbnails are exactly like Ceric Artman's. In fact, the whole video is
Somer
exactly
Himpson.
like Ceric Artman's. The narration, the editing, it even has the same disclaimers in the description. So obviously, I figured this was the same people that made the Ceric Artman channel. But as always, I wanted to have some proof. And the very first thing I noticed was on Ceric Artman's newest video at the time, there was a pinned comment in which he discusses how this week there will only be 2 uploads instead of the usual 3. I go and look at when the Somer Himpson video was uploaded, and it just so happens it was uploaded on the exact same day that this post was made. What a coincidence that right as the other channel begins to upload, the Ceric Artman channel reduces their amount of
It's pretty obvious that is the case. Like, that is definitely, like, I mean, like, I'm not going to be, like, super uncharitable here. It's probably the same guy.
uploads. Almost as if adding this channel means that they now have to split their attention between 2 channels. And if that wasn't enough proof for you that these are definitely owned by the same people, I did some digging into the editor's Twitter to see if I could find any connections, and I noticed he tends to interact with a small circle of Indian and Pakistani editors. So I was looking through the pages of all the people he interacts with the most, and one of the ones he interacts with more than anyone else just so happened to have this tweet pinned on their account.
This is where it gets a little... Okay. I'm starting to see where this is coming from. Full screening. They grew from 60 to 560 subs in only 3 days. Their most viewed video to date. If you want similar treatment for your channel, hit me up. And it's obviously a Somer Himpson channel video.
There's one thing I've learned about these Indian
This is a little client win. You know what I mean? Client win.
and Pakistani editors on Twitter.
That's a little
they
sus.
cannot help but flex their views, even when they are
Dude,
clearly
those
supposed to be secretly.
Dude, I love this. Those Pakistanis can't help but flex on us
on
mortals.
Twitter, they cannot help but. And one of the ones he interacts with more than anyone else just so happened to have this tweet pinned on their account. If there's one thing I've learned about these Indian and Pakistani editors on Twitter, they cannot help but flex their views, even when they are clearly supposed to be
Fucking Pakistan. I can't. It's so funny.
secretly working for a channel, like they can't tell anyone the name if they ask for it. They still gotta post whenever something does well. And it definitely made this investigation a little easier.
My plan is to, when I will grow up, I will help the poor people by giving their home.
Bro, what the fuck? Dude, chill. Chill out. This is so weird.
Giving them homes.
Inshallah, he is going to give homes to everyone.
To me, this pretty much proves that it's the same people. So after this, I began to notice more and more of these channels popping up. They were all exactly the same. Same thumbnails, same narration style, same editing style, same disclaimers in the description, and a character animated in the same style as the show. At this point, we knew these were all connected, but we didn't really have any ways to get any new information. So I decided to try my luck with the editor again and see if I could get anything else out of him. Hey man, are you still looking to work on South Park vids? Sure, what will I be doing? Please tell me more. Well, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I was thinking about having you edit some smaller videos for my second channel. Do you still work for the Ceric Artman channel by chance? Yup. Is there any issue for... I think he meant, is there any issue with me working for the channel? Well, I'm not certain about anything yet.
People were also critical because he's kind of just... He's clearly just using this person for more information. Like, he said he was never even planning on hiring him. So I can understand why people are a little upset about that, especially at this point when it seems like he's got literally nothing to work with.
Just had some ideas for some more casual stuff where I talk about South Park. I've never really
Guys, I don't think he's a fan of Mudahar.
hired an editor before, so I'm not sure what pay would be. If you don't mind me asking, how much does Ceric Artman give you, just so I have an idea? Funny enough, this is actually kind of true. I've only hired an editor twice. It was my boy Octopox. He edited the video where I read fan fiction, and he also edited one of the videos on my second channel where I react to a South Park analog horror series. It's actually pretty funny. I recommend you check it out. I then asked about the channel. I said, I know you don't know much about the people that run it, but what was the hiring process like for you? Did you apply for it, or did they reach out to you, and how did you find them? I also asked if it would be possible for me to talk to the person that writes for the channel. So he responded.
He's clearly like overstepping here to the point where it would freak anybody out, right? It's like, hey dude, I was hoping you could edit more for me. Would you be willing to do my second channel? Yeah, sure. By the way, who's the guy who runs your channel? Can I like talk to him?
That guy is from Kenya, and I talked to him about your proposal, and he felt flattered and told me that he is loyal to the team and he does not want to waste your time. Though if you do still insist and want to try yourself, I'll give you his Discord ID. And for my question about how he was hired, he totally dodges that by saying, look, just hire me and I'll hire all the editors you need, no big deal. So he completely ignored that question. So shockingly, he actually gives me the writer's Discord ID, which I did not expect. And he lets me know that he told him that I'm going to try to talk to him. So I try to add him as a friend, and before I can even send him a message, I receive one. What we're about to read is probably one of my favorite interactions I've ever had on the internet. I talked to I am truly flattered, but I'll have to say no. It's a matter of honor. My current employer...
Dude, I'm fucking dying. I cannot talk to you. It is a matter of honor. Yeah, I would bring great dishonor to my family.
...have been very good to me. I can't repay them with treason. I would be
treason, dude. No treason.
Happy to work...
This is clearly just thrown into like a text thing.
...for you on other projects, but it can't be anything South Park related. Immediately, I am very confused. It sounds like he thought I wanted to hire him, but he's also talking like a samurai, talking about honor and treason. But I would also like you to take note of the fact that he says current employers, because we will be coming back to that. Oh, no worries. I wasn't going to ask you to work for me. I prefer to write my own stuff anyways. I actually just had a few questions about the Ceric Artman channel, if you don't mind. What sort of questions? Well, I was just curious about the team you guys are running. It's amazing how fast you guys are capable of putting out quality content, and was thinking about starting a team of my own. Do you guys work for a company? You know I can't go into details on anything, right? Oh, no, I didn't know that. Why is that? Isn't it obvious? You are the competition. It would be
Dude, I love this Kenyan assassin, bro. Is this guy not awesome?
Painfully stupid.
Dude, I need people who ride for me as hard as this Kenyan guy.
Of me to give you anything that can be used against us.
This is what Smaggle should be doing for me.
I'm sorry, what? All right, well, that is certainly a way to respond. Well, personally...
Bloom's got upstaged and out-aura'd, literally.
I look at it as a community. I'm friends with a lot of people that make South Park videos.
Chat, this video has fucking 1.2 million views, if you're wondering.
And we give each other tips all the time. It helps everyone improve
This
their
is like
content.
mega viral.
I didn't mean any disrespect, of course. I have no intentions of using anything against you. I'm not even really sure how I would use anything against you, LOL. Now, I gotta admit, I'm not the greatest actor. And I think in hindsight, me saying I'm not even really sure how I would use anything against you is basically the equivalent of Barry Bonds saying he wouldn't even know how to get steroids. But he responds anyways. I don't know what kind of tips I could possibly give you. You're the big dog of the space. We're just a bunch of upstarts. But no, we don't work for a company. We work for ourselves. We're just a bunch of guys. We've known each other for a long time. Some grew up together, worked on a couple projects, that kind of stuff. The company only got created after we started making some money on YouTube and an LLC became a more advantageous tax structure. So let's pause here and do a bit of a recap. First of all, him being so defensive to not want to share any details with me is probably the most suspicious response he could have given me. You see, I've talked to a few YouTubers and...
Seems scripted, not gonna lie. That's kind of his takeaway too.
And when you talk to a YouTuber about what they do, they tend to be very enthusiastic about sharing information because they like to talk about what they do. I promise you, I have never messaged a YouTuber and gotten a response saying it would be foolish to tell me anything because I could use it against them. Especially since I literally just asked if they work for a company. And also, responding in this overly defensive and rude manner is the last thing any YouTuber would do if the quote-unquote big dog of their niche reached out to them specifically. If John...
What do you think about content farms? It's basically slop pollution for the site. I don't know. I think the word slop is super fucking overused. It's literally just used to describe like drama content these days. My issue with like content farms is like, it really does depend. Like, because you could argue that Turkey Tom is a content farm, right? His business structure is to have people create his main channel videos for him where he kind of voice acts them. I think he does more hands-on now, but for a while that's the way it was run. And he would use that time to then make a second channel where he would make like easier, smaller videos and then stream. So now that streaming yields clip stuff, he's able to post second channel videos and he also has main channel videos. And in a way, it's kind of a content farm. And I don't think that there's any problem with that business structure at all whatsoever. But I feel like if you do that stuff and all of your shit's probably like AI, then I think it's probably more of an issue. Yeah, I don't know. I think that you should be, like, just because you have a content farm, your opinion is still valued, and like you shouldn't be able to just hide behind that. But again, you would have to give me a specific scenario where I would see an issue with it.
Johnny Two Cellos had DM'd me when I was at like 1,000 subscribers and asked me questions like this. I would have told him fucking anything he wanted to hear, okay? I just would have been losing my mind over the fact that Johnny Two Cellos even knew I existed, let alone complimenting me. And also, what do you mean anything that could be used against us? Why would you say that unless there was something that could be used against you that you're hiding? And my favorite part of this, we're just a bunch of guys. We've known each other for a long time. Some grew up together, worked on a couple projects, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you're telling me that an editor from India just so happens to have been good friends with a random dude from Kenya.
Bro, have you ever been on Xbox Live? No, I'm kidding, but like...
Yeah, who also happened to like writing scripts, and apparently also 3 other editors that are Indian and Pakistani, and some anonymous man with a perfect American accent to do narration for them. And if you remember, in the very first message he sent, he said, "My employers have been good to me." So which is it? Are you a group of friends, or are you employed by someone? I know what the actual answer is. The answer is that he's employed by someone, but still. So then I respond, "Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I would have loved to have friends interested in making YouTube videos. I have an LLC."
Why do you have a following, Nick? It's because I'm pretty much the best person in this entire community at every single thing I do.
Too, so I get why you would do that. Sorry if it came across as accusatory or anything. You just said employers earlier, so I assumed that meant you were working for someone. LOL. It's no big deal either way. Do you do the narration for the videos as well, or is that someone else? Now, obviously I know the dude from Kenya isn't doing the narration, but I just had to know. I'm telling you, I was obsessed with this narrator. I needed to figure out what was going on, and I wanted to see how he would respond. So how did he respond? "It still feels like you're prying." I'm sorry.
It still feels like why is this? This is like the same criticism I would give Hellbent. Like, just stop responding. This guy is clearly trying to get information out of you, right? Like, just dip. And I'm talking obviously to the Ceric Artman editor guy or writer.
What? Why is he acting like I'm asking for the password to his YouTube channel? These are the most...
Like, just stop answering this guy's questions, dude. But obviously, like, they're a little jolted because it seems like he's putting the pieces together.
Normal questions ever. And he's acting like these are the most personal questions I could possibly be asking. So I try my best to reel it back a little bit. I say, "Sorry if it's coming across that way. Genuinely, I'm just trying to understand how you guys operate."
Like, yeah, it's so obviously he's just prying for answers, and it's no actual intention of like any positive interaction here other than just getting as much shit as possible out of this. Why respond to Blooms?
Great, because you make great videos. The person who does the narration is great, and if it was you, I wanted to let you know. Seriously though, if you don't want to share anything with me, that's totally cool. I respect your privacy 100%. Somehow this actually worked, and I got one final response from him. "We're not too different from your channel. We built the whole thing around one guy. There's a small team to help with research, scripting, and editing, but that's about it. There are no big secrets." There are no big secrets. We made 5 videos to start, didn't upload the first one until 5th one was complete. They popped off. This allowed us to do YouTube full-time instead of part-time like we'd been planning. That's the reason for the quick turnaround.
I feel like this just looks crazy. Like, we're halfway through the video and there's nothing here about AI.
We just work full time. And luckily I got that screenshot like the moment
It's all
he sent that, because
circumstantial
he
at this
also
point.
edited his response like a second later to say, "This bit of luck early on allowed us to do YouTube full time instead of part time like we'd been planning."
All right.
I don't know why he felt the need for any secrets. This was not suspicious at all. I did not ask a single question that I would deem as suspicious. I've asked other YouTubers these questions just out of curiosity. But
This was very suspicious. You reached out to him and exclusively asked all of these questions. I would be worried too. I wouldn't know what the fuck you're getting at.
my God, I literally don't think you could have scripted a more hilariously suspicious response than everything he said in this interaction. You may also notice that he totally avoided the question about the narrator, didn't even respond to that at all. And that's because there is no narrator. It's not a real person.
At this point, I'm reading a chat message, by the way. It says, "At this point, I don't care if this is AI, and I hope South Park strikes this guy down." All right, I don't think that's a little over the top, but yeah, I see why you're saying that.
Doesn't exist. It's a computer, I'm telling you. So here's what I think happened in this interaction. I think the first couple of messages he sent were actually his responses, but once I started actually asking questions, he definitely just reached out to
All right, we're
whoever's
like opinion
actually in
champing
charge,
right now.
and that person pointed
Let's
out some
zoom through
information
this.
out of them, and they didn't like it. So I figured I would try one last time with the editor to see if word had it into Google, and this is what I found.
Okay, back.
Not in what I'm offering you. Let me know if you need anything else. And with that, I had officially burned all the bridges I had with the Ceric Artman channel, and now it was basically guaranteed that I had no
The editor stopped talking to him. That's what we skipped.
way to communicate with them. But one thing I did have is this dude's Discord ID. And it just so happened that this Discord ID sure looked a lot like a first and last name. Not only that,
Uh-oh. Oh, uh-oh. What's happening
a
here?
very distinct first and last name. So I immediately plugged it into Google, and this is what I found. Man, what a weird coincidence. Someone with the exact same name as this guy is on Fiverr, offering to write an original and funny script for any topic. And he's completely paused his services since around the time the Ceric Artman channel started. And he's from Kenya. Wow, what a weird coincidence. So if it wasn't already obvious, this is not a group of friends. This is a bunch of dudes who were hired by either a
Or they played Xbox together.
person or a company at incredibly low
I mean, reasonably, yeah. The guy's from Fiverr.
wages with the sole purpose of making a lot of money for that person. Now at this point, I had exhausted pretty much every single lead that I had. I typed everything into Google a million times. I've been through every page. I looked through everyone's LinkedIn pages, everything you could imagine. But at this point, I had gathered a ton of really good evidence that proved most of my theories correct. But I still didn't know if I was going to make a video. I kind of felt bad for these guys. And I don't mean whoever's at the top hiring all these people. I mean the people that are being hired. These people are working for probably pennies.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking, like, I've done all this research and I've been fucking scaring these people in DMs, and, you know, it's pretty clear that what I was thinking is happening now, but maybe I should just let them get away with it, because, I mean, think of their jobs, man. They might lose these jobs. Yeah, this is, like, crazy.
And it's hard for me to hate on them when they're just trying to get by. I decided I was just going to take a break from all this for a while. This had been taking up so much time in my life, especially since we had pretty much found anything that we could find. It didn't feel like there was anything left to discover. So I'm just going to take a long break, and whenever I come back, then I'll decide what I'm going to do. This break lasted
Bro gave a fake job offer. Yeah, this does kind of scream like prison.
one day. Because the very next day, the day after speaking to this man in DMs, this was posted on the Ceric Artman community page. Lately, I've been getting some interesting messages from
This is where it gets a little weird. Look at
a
this.
few of you loyal subscribers. Apparently, my channel was mentioned on a website that sells YouTube niches to people looking to get into YouTube for money. I
Wait,
wasn't
hold
aware
on.
those
I
sites
think I skipped past something that's super funny. Look at this.
Such
Ready? Wait, go back to the last thing he said to that channel.
It's a computer. I'm allowed us to do YouTube full time instead of part. About real I think the first couple just range from range questions. I guess combo. If you don't feel comfortable answering, that's fine. Nothing to do with Ceric Artman.
Oh, maybe I didn't miss it. It was earlier. I just forgot to mention it.
Subscribers. Apparently, my channel was mentioned on a website that sells YouTube niches to people looking to get into YouTube for money. I wasn't aware those sites were such a big deal.
Oh. This reminds me, remember when Leafy's channel showed up on a sub-botting website and everyone was like, oh, Leafy's getting sub-botted, there it is. Which that could also be a plausible explanation for it, but I don't know. Any minute this is going to play, I swear.
Niches to people looking to get into YouTube for money. I wasn't aware those sites were such a big deal, but it seemed to be quite popular. Basically the equivalent of Barry Bonds saying he wouldn't even know how to get steroids. They even included a detailed analysis on how anyone can copy my titles, they're not magic, thumbnails, also not magic, and script style, a little magical. Honestly, I take that as a big compliment. It's a testament to the immense support from all of you for enjoying my content and helping this channel grow. Now, I'm not here
Like, I can't just get over the fact that, like, there's a version of this that goes completely differently, and, like, all these guys are just harassing a small YouTuber. Because it seems like at this point they still really don't have a ton to go off of that's, like, bad. I don't know.
to gatekeep my content or any content on YouTube. Everyone in the content creation space takes inspiration from one another. Same goes for me. Think I don't watch Bloom's videos or Johnny Tuchello's? I love them. Hopefully they watch mine as well sometimes. Oh, we do. More than you would think. In the end, it's all about delivery. This does mean that there might be more competition on the horizon, which is also a good thing. You are the competition. It would be painfully stupid of me to give you anything that can be
how would you know if you don't investigate? I mean, if I took this many L's where like I was just walking into wall after wall, I don't know if at some point you have to be like, all right, dude, just let it go. But you're not gonna be able to prove it's AI. It's this is just too much. But I mean, I guess they persevered.
Used against us. It pushes all of us to step up our game, and if it leads to more quality content out there for you to enjoy and for me to take inspiration from, then I'm all here for it. And we give each other tips all the time. It helps everyone improve their content. That said, I believe the best content comes from passion and a genuine love for.
So the Ceric Artman guy is quoting the stuff that he said now in his community tab to use it, which is really funny.
What you're doing, not just chasing a.
Because this is the biggest red flag. The channel is trying to get ahead because he knows what's coming. And he's using his own words to try to do it. This is where it's like, oh.
Quick buck. Making these videos takes time, effort, and a lot of research. So if I see or you see other creators
So it's like a stealth diss where everyone who's watching it's like, oh my god, he's so wholesome, he loves us. And Bloom's just watching it screeching in horror. This is occurring.
Similar topics in the future, I think it's important to remember that. Sometimes I might be working on a subject for a while, only for another channel to release a video on it before I do. That could make it look like I'm copying others, but rest assured, if that happens, it's not because I'm trying to copy anyone. It's just part of the creative process. I've experienced this once before, where there was some backlash because I posted a video a few hours after another YouTuber on a similar topic. Hence this community post. Don't want to disappoint you, I want to be transparent. Things like this can happen, and it could easily go the other way around too. I never want to spend my time tearing down
others. Okay, you get this point, right? Yeah, you see he's like preempting it. Oh, tearing down others is bad. I'm not going to do that, guys. Yeah, so you should definitely come into the niche, guys. You're all welcome here. I'm the welcoming, inclusive one, guys. Yeah, and then the video ends.
And hey, feel which will be
so,
life.
Yeah.
I don't.
Dude, this is so funny. It's just, oh god.
Ceric.
I get why you guys are rooting for Ceric.
I don't think I have ever read anything in my entire life that made me as angry as this.
I wish, dude, God, I wish I was in the Discord call when he read this. Holy fuck, chat. Could you imagine being in the Discord call while this was being read?
Posted. This post is quite possibly the biggest fuck you I have ever seen in my entire life. The absolute gall of these people to create this post knowing I have the information that I have, to morally grandstand about their passion and their, oh, I don't want to spread negativity, I just want to fuck you, to use my own words that I literally spoke to them the night before about the importance of having a community and how it makes all of our content better. The gall to use that in this statement, which they are preemptively putting out to protect themselves for when
dude, he does seem so fucking mad, dude. This is actually so fucking funny. I'm sorry.
This video inevitably comes out. The best content comes from passion and a genuine love for what you're doing. You know what? That's true. That's why your content is fucking garbage.
Dude, he's so fucking mad.
That's why you make terrible content, because you have no passion. You're a soulless team of people. So to anyone looking to jump into this niche, you are more than welcome. Just please aim to bring something original to the table instead of doing a one-to-one copy of what others are already doing. Oh my god. Thank you, Ceric. Thank you, Ceric Artman, for giving me permission to make videos about South Park. And you're so right. I need to be original. I need to not steal. I need to not use AI. I need to have a real fucking narrator. I wish I could meet the person that wrote this. I'm not going to do anything. I would just want to look at them in the eyes. I would want to see what's going on in your eyes. You know what? It probably wasn't even a person. It was probably ChatGPT that wrote this.
You know, I kind of got video 1 and 2 mixed up in my head. There really isn't much that I like about this video. I gotta be honest with you. We're like 3/4 of the way through this, and I don't think that like a lot has been accomplished. And it's one of those where I would like, if I was on day 1, I almost think I would side with the other YouTuber after watching this.
Okay, I am composing myself. I apologize. Now, I believe there were a few reasons for this post. Number one, to disassociate themselves from the other channels that are clearly them, such as Somer Himson. Because by putting up this bullshit about someone making a course on how to copy them...
Dude, you come back after all the fucking Pakistani, fucking Indian, fucking Ugandan fucking content creators, and now we're back to Somer Himson again, and it's so funny to me.
Whatever.
Dude.
They can just say, oh, well, that's not us, that's just someone that copied us. Unfortunately for them, we have evidence that it is them, so they won't be able to do that. Number two, this is to distance themselves from anyone that is actually copying them, but who isn't as good at hiding the AI, so they don't get lumped in with all these other channels. And the funniest part is this is working because I've seen comments on a bunch of these other copycat channels calling these channels out for using AI while praising Ceric Artman in the exact same breath. I am not kidding.
Again, we still don't really have anything to back the
malicious
AI.
of all is to protect themselves against our investigation. They're trying to get out in front of it. They're trying to name drop me and Johnny and act like a fan of us, saying, oh, I'd never want to spend my time tearing down others. All of this is because they know that we're onto them and they can defend themselves by claiming innocence. Oh, we're just a small channel who wanted to make videos and spread positivity, all that bullshit. But I think they severely underestimate the extent to which we've been digging and the scale of this operation. This post is what finally convinced me to make this video. Preaching about passion and not doing it for money. It's sickening coming from these losers who are gaming the system to make as much money as possible in the most unethical, scummy ways possible, and also stealing my words to promote the idea they were so against in private. It makes my blood boil. Which is why we're doing this. I refuse to be complicit in this anymore. For a very long time, I didn't want to make the video because I didn't want to get in drama. I didn't want this to be a whole thing. But I realize I have a responsibility at this point.
Yeah, this video is pretty bad. This is almost over. Wait, why were all the other guys in this if they don't have any speaking roles?
Cares a lot about this community to do whatever I can to prevent this from continuing in the way that it is. This sort of thing is not only severely damaging communities, it is damaging YouTube as a whole.
It's just so
I'm only going to talk about this
grandstandy.
briefly because this is a massive rabbit hole in itself, but if you look into YouTube automation, this is an entire world of hundreds of thousands of channels that are all doing this exact thing. They are started as an investment opportunity by someone who hires writers and editors from poor countries willing to work for extremely cheap, who then use ChatGPT, AI narration, and even AI images and video for everything related to the video. The people at the top can literally run dozens of these channels at a time. The editor mentioned that the team ran multiple channels, and this was before any of the other cartoon channels popped up. So these are clearly people who are very experienced in this, and everything we've learned suspected about the Ceric Artman channel lines up with this perfectly. Here's a document I found by signing up for a course that was just free online about YouTube automation. It gives all of the tips you need to do this and how you can use AI literally every single step of the way. There are entire YouTube channels dedicated to explaining how to do this as well.
All right, I don't care about it.
It's over 14,000 ChatGPT prompts for different niches.
Oh, this is the special guest. Now we get to hear. All right, does anybody care about what they have to say? Because most of these people are just kind of talking about like
already put in the work, and by making
people putting in the work,
a direct ripoff of another channel,
and people okay, this is actually something that matters.
Their entire thumbnail.
Apparently, the Ceric Artman guy like stole the fucking character model.
Format is stolen
of a smaller YouTuber.
Is a direct ripoff of another.
Yeah, they like stole the avatar of a smaller YouTuber and fucking photoshopped out his hairline. That looks pretty compelling in the second one. Yeah, I don't care about any of these special guests. All right, guys, this is what you all wanted to hear. All right, this is what you were all here for.
Okay, guys, we can reveal who we are now.
Okay, this is why we're here, dude.
I don't respect you. So,
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
That is still the white guy, by the way, doing an Indian voice.
We got. Okay,
dude, why
guys,
is Mudahar on the left? What's happening?
we can reveal who we are now. We got busted. We want to say to
It's still the same guy.
Mr. Bloomsy, we are truly so. So, Mr. Blooms, I hope you had a good night's sleep. Now, I can make a long and boring response debunking most of what Blooms and the Avengers have said, but most of you wouldn't care.
Dude, the Avengers have said. This is so cringe, bro.
That's why I've also assembled the team to help me. In this case, Coon and Friends.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is why we're here, bro.
Because guess what? South Park already made an episode on spreading misinformation.
Facebook says it's true, but it's not true. But Facebook says it's true. Okay, but it's not true.
By internet rules, whatever they said is the truth. They have a bigger following, have been around for a longer period of time, and have some serious allegations with circumstantial proof, which is plausible. Besides that, I'm presented like a perpetrator. You can never vouch for the perpetrator by
Alright. Dude, I'm sorry. This is fire. I understand where this is going, but this is unironically fire.
societal norms. So let's have fun here today. While I'm still going to debunk the boring claims as well as confirm the credible ones, I'm doing so in the South Park way. Something the Avengers could have also done if they loved South Park a little bit.
Dude, you could have done this in a South Park style if you loved South Park as much as we do over here.
More. They could have really called themselves Bloomin' Friends. Missed opportunity. Let's present my, or should I say our, channel as a bike parade. And just like in its own video, Blooms is representing Stahan Marsh.
First thing we gotta do to get the bike parade canceled is raise awareness.
And raise awareness he does. But he does so by leaving out every detail that wasn't in his favor. So first things first, are we AI?
Dude, I'm the South Park music, too, for the transitions.
Well, no. But you can never really believe that. Not even by listening to this raw recording of my voice. I'll even leave a couple of breaths in for the sake of it. Perhaps making a weird noise would help you get convinced I'm not AI. Maybe even the squeakingness of my chair as I rock back and forth.
Just to be clear, this is not actually AI. But, like, even in the... Oh, dude. Even in his second video, Bloom still thinks it's AI.
Or what about
well, he's
if I
AI.
talk all the way back here away from the microphone?
What does the chair prove? Absolutely nothing. If it had him in the audio, it would sound a little bit better. But again, it is difficult to prove. Ultimately, this is just some guy hired off of Fiverr. So I don't know what he could have done better, but he needed to think of something.
Something like shamalama ding dong. Convinced now? Probably not. I'm just using next level AI voiceover that's capable of doing all this. Anything I'll do will be claimed as AI. And if it's not AI, it's fake. Finally, if you believe it is real, the next claim will be that the narrator is just a voiceover artist hired by a Pakistani company, written by a Kenyan samurai, edited in India. Super Craig to the rescue.
Someone is systematically targeting our Facebook followers and feeding them misinformation.
There's no
Oh my god, dude, I'm sorry. This is fire.
winning on that part. If that didn't convince you the narrator...
It is AI. At this point, watch the second video. No, we're watching it in chronological order, the way that fucking guy made the first video. I know. I'm aware it is AI. I promise. We will get there, okay? God.
narrator is not text-to-speech, you'll never be convinced. Then comes our...
He is not AI, though. He is a human being, just to be clear. The guy who is reading this is a person.
Scripts, which Blooms also claims is AI. So are they made using AI? You know the answer to that. You watch our videos, but Bloomsy watches them too. He watches them way more than you ever could. He watches our videos over and over.
Now he's doing the you're obsessed with me trope.
Over and over again. This guy is a real fan.
I'm your #1 fan!
An obsessive fan. The kind of fan who makes you consider applying for a restraining order.
As someone who has listened to more Ceric Artman videos at this point than probably anyone else in the world, this is an AI narrator.
Bloomsy's obsession with our videos has led him to a radical conclusion. We must be AI. We must be. He feels it. So what led to that conclusion? It's a series of events, and it all starts with the very first video of ours that he ever watched.
Around 2 months ago, I was casually scrolling through my recommended page on YouTube, as I tend to do, when a video caught my attention. I started the video and—
Thank you for the click, Bloomsy. I appreciate my viewers, and thank you to you guys. I don't say that
Oh
enough.
my god, bro.
Let's get back to Lord Bloomsy watching one or more of my controversial videos. Lots of people called me bad words in the comment section for the stuff I said in it.
Alright, so it was funny for like the first couple of seconds, but like, I don't know. At this point, he's not really responding to anything. I don't know. I can't feign interest anymore.
Bloomsy,
Man, this editing, scripting, and narrating all seem pretty professional.
Thanks again. I have very talented people to help me with that.
There
But
we
this
go.
is apparently
Now we're
a
getting
problem.
somewhere.
You see, when you're a small YouTuber, your videos are supposed to be crap because you don't really know anything yet.
This is fucking facts, though. I don't care who it's coming from. Like, yeah, I think that, like, in general, content creation, when it comes to new content creators, are making better stuff than ever before. That's kind of the expected trend, but they always say, like, oh, your content is bad, therefore it's suspect.
Yeah. But our videos weren't crap, which is a massive red flag number 1. But wait, there's more.
I copy and pasted some of the descriptions into an AI detector and, yep, 100%
Now, he's gonna have to eat shit here, because this is stupid.
AI generated.
That's heavy, Bloomsy. But the description is not the video. It's a video summary and generic copyright disclaimer to fit the YouTube guidelines. You know the spiel. No copyright infringement intended, fair use, blah 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 blah. And generic disclaimers. Yeah, those will probably be detected as AI. But there's no fun in mentioning that. Bloomsy would never intentionally try to deceive his audience by leaving that out. Like he's Professor Chaos.
Just start writing horrible things about people and presenting it as reality on Facebook.
Or did he perhaps do that? I'll let you decide that yourselves. I'm not claiming any.
I imagine this is probably the one video that this channel made that had no AI in the creation of making it. That's probably a safe bet.
That could be an honest mistake.
Like, this was definitely
Speaking
written
about
by their
honest
team.
mistakes, he's left out a lot more.
Like all of the video scripts. You can bet your left nut that he ran every single one of our video scripts through 100 different AI detectors. And...
I couldn't get anything conclusive.
Bummer. AI sucks.
Dude, that is such a crazy clip. He pulled him saying, I can't find anything conclusive out of, like, the first fucking... But again, here, wait. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm falling for Bloom's propaganda. Listen to this
Not
again.
that he ran every single one of our video scripts through 100 different AI detectors. And...
I couldn't get anything conclusive.
Yeah, I don't care if that's in the first 2 minutes of the video. They never found anything conclusive for the rest of the video. And anything they did find conclusive was either not relevant enough to put in the video, or, at that point, they must have found it after the fact. Because, yeah, for that first video, if you just go off that fucking hour-long video, there is, like, nothing in there to conclusively point to the fact that it's AI. Or even... I mean, the stuff there wasn't very compelling for that part at all.
Bummer. AI sucks. We're sure you've tried it. AI can definitely make a video.
This is cringe now. Now this part ages horrendously.
But it doesn't make any video a human would enjoy watching. That's why he claims it's partially written by AI.
AI doesn't make any video a human would enjoy watching. Okay, buddy. Awesome.
The way he presents evidence for this is by partly showcasing a video. Well, guess what? Scripts follow a structure. You have to understand tension building to create a good one. That's why standalone...
Yeah, they really leaned on that one a little hard. I'm sorry.
Snippets don't make sense. It incentivizes you to watch the complete video. So despite finding literally zero evidence that we're using AI, Bloomsy and his friends decided to believe it anyway because they just felt it was AI. There's no point in bothering you with facts when you can just feel whatever you want.
I just felt like running.
Which
Bro, the clip choices in these videos are so weird.
leads me to the left out comments. Blooms went over all my videos and comments. So
Nick, from the future, is he straight up lying about not using AI for scripts? Yeah. He's straight up lying about not using AI for scripts. Yeah, they absolutely use AI for the first drafts of their scripts.
must have also seen this comment placed about 3 weeks ago under our video about puberty, where, you know, we were already mentioning multiple people helping the Pakistani, Indian, Kenyan samurai produce them. We were pretending to be one person here, though, so I have to give credit to that. Even though we viewed Ceric as a personification of our channel, we could have made that clearer to the audience, for which we do apologize. We even have...
I don't think it matters, to be honest. As long as the scriptwriter is like the person or whatever, I think that's all that matters. Again, the editor doesn't matter in terms of the team aesthetic. Like, well, you know, he didn't edit this. I think that most YouTubers use editors now at this point. I don't think that there's, unless it's like your whole style is your editing or whatever, and that's like a big point. Like if Lemino used a bunch of, actually, I don't even know if I'd care about that. Never mind, I'm lying. I don't think editing really matters. It's really the script writer and then the person speaking. And if they're not in unison, then maybe, I guess you have an argument, but thumbnail, video editing. I don't think any of those are like personality driven stuff that really matters if it's done by a party that's not disclosed.
Sometimes, as I'll show later. The channel description was also changed some time ago. That's why Blooms could only find a screenshot from some Pakistani person on Facebook where it was still the old one. But that doesn't fit their narrative.
Yeah, that's not true either.
So they didn't bother to share it until the very end of the video.
Bro, I gotta be honest, even the retro iDubbbz clip is fire.
Ooh. Yikes.
The comment section went wild on the fact that we've changed our description after the video came out. So for anyone wondering, the bio was already changed before the Avengers came out. But it didn't fit well with them, so they didn't bother mentioning it till the very end. Which we did in fact change twice.
Yeah, this is all not true. All of this is bullshit, by the way.
You can't just make stuff up about us. People are thinking it's true.
Now, is multiple people working on a channel a crime?
No.
Well, in my case, yes it is. For others, nope.
I think this is a very good point. If Johnny Two Cellos is allowed to hire writers, why can't they hire writers? Because writers are like the most intrinsic thing here. So if Johnny Two Cellos is having other people write his personal videos and he's reading their words with his voice, who fucking cares how long he's been doing YouTube? That is a fucking good point. I'm sorry. That is a fucking fair point. And then LS Mark uses editors. I don't think that one matters as much. But if Johnny Two Cellos is using a fucking script writer, that kind of flies in the face of Blooms' argument a little bit. I do think it does. I'm sorry.
And I really respect the fact that Bloomsy does everything himself. I'm not going to take that away from him. It's a lot of hard work. But I've always believed that 2 brains are better than 1, and 3 are better than 2. So why does Bloomsy think this is so evil? It's because something I do all the time.
If you watch any of their videos, the narrator is always talking in the first person. Same with any comments he makes on the videos or any community
I'm
posts
pretty
he makes.
sure
It's always, I am doing this, or...
Like, if Johnny is doing the same shit, then I feel like you really have to... Like, you can't fly past that.
I never would have known.
Okay, guilty as charged. I have a nasty habit of taking all the credit for what is usually a group project. I apologize profusely for that crime, Lord Bloomsy. I am not going to become a we as a personification, though our avatar is still a separate entity. Blooms just can't handle our style.
Now I see you're trying to use your style over mine.
Dude, I kind of like the South Park shit. I kind of do.
Now you try to block me.
Now, Bloomsy has zero proof that we are AI, or that we're a content farm. We also can't prove that we aren't AI or a content farm, as the narrative has already been set by cancel culture. He goes on some wild tangent about those Pakistani Facebook groups, but that has nothing to do with us. But he finally stumbles into the facts that have been staring him in the face all along.
I also never really found any significant proof that Ceric Artman was doing anything wrong.
Sweet vindication. And the reason is because there was never anything to find in the first place, Bloomsy. Next up, the writer and editor.
He sounds so robotic. I mean, again, this is an actual person. Ceric is a Nick fan. He's got the flutes. True. Yeah.
This DM on Twitter. Can I edit South Park videos for you? Here is my recent edit.
The guy DMing Bloomsy just happens to be one of our editors. Let's call him Jay. He had some free time and was looking for a side hustle. So he DM'd Lord Bloomsy.
Look, I'm not racist. I like Kenyan people, so I am a big fan of Ceric Artman.
Sadly, it was not Jay's lucky day.
Now, obviously, I had no intentions of actually hiring this person.
Ouch. Bloomsy didn't want Jay's services. But did he tell him no? Of course not. He decided to use Jay to spy on this channel. We have a public...
I also think this is partly like a fair critique. I don't know, man. I think this one's a little fair, too.
Publicly available email address. Bloomsy could have emailed us at any point if he wanted to. It was in the community post he completely analyzed, but failed to mention as it didn't fit the narrative of not being able to get in touch with us. Now, back to Jay. He still thinks the job is in play, so he auditions like a pro and shares the usual exaggerations we all put on our resumes.
Yeah, the team runs multiple channels, so they are experienced.
This excites Bloomsy because he gets what he wants to hear. We have another channel, so that's true. Bloomsy, please watch every other video video over there 1,000 times as well and make a video about it. We really need the views. It's struggling.
Okay, bro. All right. Interesting.
Nice.
I looked on my channel
All right. That was weird. That was a weird thing to use. Okay. Cool.
as well. You also might notice in those videos that the mic quality and the style of narration changes over the course of the videos. I think we started out with like a $50 microphone on Amazon, and then we upgraded to a HyperX Quad, and now...
All right, well, we're going to watch the rest of this through the Blooms video. I'm going to jump over to there because, to be honest, it doesn't make sense to watch this twice. I think for the most part, you kind of get what happened here about halfway through. This is where everything starts to come together. I think we're going to watch this until we're satisfied that this guy's channel was using AI. I think that's good enough, honestly. The one point that I do want to show you before we jump in is the reality is after this whole thing ended, huge update. I have now confirmed 100% that the narrator is a real person. So yes, in this video, we're still going to hear a bunch of crackpot theories about how the narrator isn't a real person. But now, as of 7 days ago, the narrator is a real person. He's pretty much what I said in my first video, a guy who they hired on Fiverr who doesn't even watch South Park. He claims he did the narration for all the videos. He would do a single cold read of the script, and they usually would, accept his first take. He claims this is why the inflections and everything are off. He's a really talented voice actor and didn't really know what he was reading, although I do have suspicions about them potentially using AI to fix mistakes. Another editor reached out to me and showed me that they did have an AI clone working of the voice, but they claims it was never used in videos. Turns out he actually suggested to the owners to come clean about everything, but they refused. He claimed that the owners asked him to do a face reveal and pretend to be Ceric Artman, but he told them he wouldn't read the scripts if they tried to write him as the owner, and he definitely wasn't about to show his face for these guys. He was upset by the fact that they wanted him to be the face of the channel when he didn't even know anything about South Park. According to him, it's been radio silence since they worked on the response video, so it seems like they're just going to abandon the channel. He's a very cool dude, and you might hear from him soon. Sorry, I can't pin this sponsor requirement. Update 2, he told me that he's either been kicked from the Discord server or it's been taken down entirely. I think they're done. Update 3, Ceric Artman is dead. The narrator received a message from the owners confirming it. They're going to move on to their other channels, presumably, and the fact that they're willing to simply dip out on this with no warning speaks to their lack of respect for the topics they cover, as well as the employees, just abandoning them without thinking twice about it. I'm going to try to help out the narrator as best I can. It's honestly sad. This isn't what I wanted, but the owners are hustlers. If it slows down the cash flow, they just move on to the next thing. So ultimately, I mean, yeah, I don't think the first video is good, but I think he was right. I mean, they've literally just completely abandoned the channel, fired every single person working there. And you'll see in this video, people do interviews. The scripts were AI. So, I mean, we hate to see it. The guys were very funny. And I hope the narrator gets some good work. But, I mean, ultimately, yeah, they were right. How did we get here? I feel like I read the first chapter and the last chapter. Don't worry, we got it here.
Act like an anime villain. All right, we can do that.
I wanted to watch it because if you don't know that fact, this video is excruciating to watch. Because, like, for the first half, you just sit here talking about how the guy's probably AI, and it's not good. It's not. But it gets there when you get to the interviews.
Guys, I'll take it from here.
Also,
Ceric,
this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is worse than the other one.
what do you say? Let's do this. Mano y mano.
Ha ha ha. Oh, Bloomsy. Did you really think we would take this lying down? I am the Kenyan samurai, and I would never bring dishonor to my employers. It's over for you. Huh? What is this? What's going on? Bloomsy, don't.
Ceric, I thought you would have learned.
I hate this. I also think he's using AI to make Ceric's voice. Just a hunch.
Your collective egos have clouded your judgment, and you forced my hand. I'm sorry, Ceric. I didn't want to do this, but you leave me no choice. You continue to underestimate us, and this time, you've stumbled right into your own grave. You may have strength in numbers, but we have something you could never understand. The human will. And now, it's time for you to find out why humanity is undefeated.
No! I'm sorry!
I needed you to watch this. I needed you to know. I knew when I watched this, I had to show it to you. That's not me. That is really in it. It really starts playing Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. I need Chud Logic to watch this tomorrow. Can Chud Logic watch this tomorrow? That's the thing, it takes a while to get here, but this is so worth it.
I want to start off this video by making it very clear this is not just about South Park YouTubers. This issue is affecting the entire platform, and tons of communities are being affected by this. I'm going to make a lot of statements.
There's a YouTube-wide outbreak right now.
This video about how this channel has been dishonest and how it's hurting this community, but these statements apply to literally every single one of these channels on the platform. So keep that in mind. This is a massive issue across the entire platform.
Big issue, guys.
This is not just about South Park YouTubers. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect Ceric Artman to respond to my video. I was so certain
Dude, I was so certain I was just gonna get away with this.
That they were just gonna ignore everything, wait like a week, and then keep uploading like nothing happened. Even after I uploaded the video, I thought this would be the case, considering how much time they put into deleting hundreds of negative comments on their videos and community page. And honestly, this would have been the best course of action for them. If they had just laid low for a while and then continued uploading like nothing happened, they probably would have been totally fine, considering the type of people that most likely watch their content don't really care all that much about this kind of stuff. And I definitely would not be making a second video right now. I was already exhausted of this situation.
We are gonna push this a little faster because this is a longer video.
By the time I released the first video, let alone now. I have no clue how drama YouTubers do this for like a living, because this is—
We do it better, actually. We do it better than what you did, bro.
It's stressful. So regardless of what happens after I release this is going to be the last video I make talking about this situation. As you'll see, this is pretty much the end. I have hard evidence to prove pretty much every single thing Ceric Artman said in his video is a lie, as well as to definitively prove some of the claims I made in the previous video whose evidence was circumstantial. I'm talking screenshots, insider documents, and even testimony from ex-employees.
So this is a lot more. This is like the Mama Max method of I made a bad video and then all of the information got handed to me. Therefore, the first video is now no longer bad.
Hi, this is crazy. This is really nuts.
I'm not gonna say too many names.
No, it's absolutely based on an AI's vision.
This is irrefutable, concrete evidence that Ceric Artman has been lying to you this entire time, and this operation is on a scale so much larger than you could even imagine. And I'm gonna be honest, I was just totally baffled by this video. I cannot understand how the people working on this channel came to the conclusion that making this video was a good idea. Like, at this point, they have to expect that I
mean, they were kind of winning, to be honest.
Know a little bit more than they might think, right? And even if they didn't know that I have the information I have, essentially
they really weren't winning.
Every single statement they make in this video is either severely misrepresenting the truth or just flat out lying. And if I'm being honest, I went a little easy on them in the first video. As much as it might seem like it, I don't hate this channel, and I wanted—
All right, that's not true. That's not true. You want this wiped off the map. Don't lie.
To give them the opportunity to come clean about all of this before I did it for them. Honestly, if they had just made a video admitting to what they were doing and being honest, I don't think anyone would even care all that much, and then everyone would just look at me as some guy that stirred up drama for no reason. But instead, they did what is literally the worst possible thing they could have done and just doubled down on everything. And they did so while treating us like we were some kind of bullies seeking to take down the little guy, while simultaneously spending the entire video trying to bully me like a middle schooler. Like, they literally gave me a condescending nickname. They called me Bloomsy the entire video. They also dressed me up like a girl throughout the video for some reason. I guess—
All right, I need to skip this. We need to get to AI. Here we go.
But you know, I kind of like this look. I already made it my Twitter profile picture. I might as well use it for this video. So the way I'm starting this video is the first thing I'm going to talk about is AI, and specifically what my intentions were with making the previous video. Then after that, we're going to go—
I gotta be honest here, this is going to come as a big shocker to everybody. I don't really think I like this Blooms guy. I've seen his videos before. I didn't have a problem with it, but—
What is Bunty King to you? A person?
This is just like—
Nicholas DeOrio?
Annoying.
point by point through their video and discuss every single point they make. Then after that, we're going to talk about the things they didn't bring up and intentionally ignored, as well as the new evidence that we have to support all of the claims that I made in the previous video. Then after that, we're going to give some more suggestions for small up-and-coming channels that you should go support, as well as discuss what all of this means for YouTube and what the implications are. And of course, all of this will be labeled with the chapters below, so if you want to skip around, you can. And I'm sure a lot of you are most interested in the new evidence, but I do suggest you watch the whole video because it provides a lot of interesting context for that evidence.
All right.
So first, let's talk about my previous video. Now, I think a lot of people misunderstood what point I was trying to make when making making this video. Now, of course, that's my fault. I can't blame anyone else for that. I should have been much—
This is where history rewriting happens a little bit, because I think the audience here is going to wildly disagree with all of the things that they're about to see.
Clearer on what I meant. But a lot of people got really hung up on the AI stuff, when in reality, my focus was much more on the content farm aspect of this operation. AI in itself is not the problem.
That's just not true. You were way more hung up on the AI stuff than any of us. That was the major allegation the video meant to prove. Anything short of that is why people in the chat think the video is bad. Yeah. That's yeah, this is like some crazy post hoc rationalization. It was the entire framing of the video was AI. It was like your opening introductory paragraph.
Problem. It's just a tool that they use in order to better deceive people. Now, when I released that video, the only evidence I had to prove that they were using AI was circumstantial at best. This is no longer the case, as the evidence I have now is much more damning, but regardless, I wanted to clarify that from the beginning, exposing Ceric Artman for using AI was never the point of this video. My intentions with this video were simply to make this knowledge public. I have absolutely no issue with the
He's just lying. This is just a lie. This is lying right now, and it is not good.
Existence of Ceric Artman. In fact, there exists—
I can't stress enough to you that sometimes in life, the villain wins. And in this case, I think the villain won.
Only benefits me, which we'll talk about more later on. But this video was not meant to take down Ceric Artman or destroy their career or cancel them or any of that. I just thought that what they were doing was deceptive and wrong, and people deserve to know. And if you finish this video and you just like their videos and don't care about any of this, that's totally fine. All I wanted was to make sure people knew what they were consuming, because I know that personally
Yeah, none of that shit matters. I'm sorry. Again, are you gonna talk to Johnny about, like, saying, hey, I didn't write this video in the middle of his next fucking Futurama breakdown?
I like to support small
I really like Johnny's content, to be honest. I watch a lot of his stuff. I'll be sitting, like, when I'm doing work and stuff, sometimes I'll throw on a 2Cellos video.
If I'm able to. And if you don't care, that is totally fine. I'm just glad that now you know and are able to make an informed decision instead of being deceived. Now, when it comes to AI, again, I don't have any inherent issues with using AI in your videos. I just think that you should— Brother, hello. I don't think that's true. Be honest about it. It is so incredibly easy to fool people with AI nowadays because most people just don't realize how good it is. For example, I got a DM after I released that video saying that they think that little detective character I used is actually AI generated. And looking at it now, it 100% is AI generated. I just found it on
Bro, come on.
the first page of Google Images. But it just goes to show how even if you know what you're looking for, you can still be fooled by AI. Now, I definitely didn't help with this considering my seeming obsession with this supposed AI narrator, but that was more of a personal thing because it just drove me insane that no one else recognized it. But let's imagine a world where the Ceric Artman channel isn't using AI in any way. In my opinion,
Bro, if you just took this guy out of the story, I feel like this would be so much smoother.
Changes almost nothing in terms of
I know he did all the legwork, but somebody else could have been smart enough to figure it out.
Critiques of the channel. Because again, my issue was never the AI, my issue was the dishonesty behind it. But
okay, well, then you wrote a really terrible video because that was not, like, even remotely... That was no, that didn't happen.
Because of the way that they latched on to my claims of an AI narrator in the response video, you would think that's all I talked about. And you know what? I'm barely going to talk about it in this video. I'm still going to mention it, and I am totally 100%—
AI is like the new Red Scare on YouTube. You can make as many bad videos as you want about it, but if you mention AI, people get nervous because they see it destroying them in the future in their current way of life. It's like, it literally is the Neo Red Scare. You can get away with so much bullshit if you put AI at the end of it.
% willing to be proven wrong on this issue, but at this point, it barely matters. Because compared to everything else they've done that we have hard evidence of, having an AI narrator is basically nothing. I'll elaborate on this stuff a lot more as we go through the video, but for now, let's go ahead and jump into their response video.
100%, this is a top 10 worst commentary. Do you understand that we are 9 minutes into an hour and 25-minute video, and you're already listing it as one of the worst videos of the year? I don't even know if I, like... Dude, I was way too nice to this video. I think I started this segment where I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good video. I mean, it has its flaws. Dude, watching this back in rapid succession and actually completing the video is just like a fucking fever dream.
So as we go through this, and as I discuss all the lies that are—
Queeman, I need Queeman to watch this. Fuck Chud. I mean, I want to see Chud cover it too, but Queeman needs this.
Directly to your face, I want you to really think about that. Think about just how little respect this channel has for you and all of its viewers to not only lie to you this entire time, but continue to lie to you following a call out, assuming that you're dumb enough to be manipulated.
Because you know what? I was fresh off of seeing the resolution of the drama and hearing the testimony. So for me, I was able to kind of look past the horrible journalism because it ultimately was true. Right? So like I sat on it for a few days, and what sunk with me is like ultimately he was right. And I think I toned out a lot of his videos. So when I thought of it more favorably looking back.
Manipulated into believing the stuff they have to say. That's how they think of you. I want you to consider that when you decide if you want to support this channel in the future. And as we'll talk about a little more later, I genuinely think these people believe that they are much smarter than you and I, and that we're too stupid to figure this out. First of all, that thumbnail is absolutely unhinged. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, that thumbnail is awesome. That is such a cool thumbnail. I didn't even show that. Chat, look at this thumbnail. Look at this fucking thumbnail. That is the coolest thing ever, bro. Holy shit. Wait, dude, you know that meme that the fucking crazy guy whose fucking family threw him out and that he sold his channel? What is his name? The guy who fought with Connor? It's like, this is the worst thing ever. Literally the coolest shit ever. Is that still the thumbnail? I think they just abandoned the channel, so... Well, that was painful. Wait! They posted again!
The mall is now reducing...
Wait, so they didn't quit?
A person? Who is Bunty King? Nicholas DeOrio.
Chat, I honestly couldn't care less if the videos are AI or not, because I like them. Wait! No way! No fucking way, they're back, dude! They're fucking back! That's so crazy. They survived.
I found it a little funny. I don't even know if I can show it, so I'm not gonna, but you can go look if you want. And one thing about this video is that it feels a lot more natural. The script makes
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That video is 13 days ago, and the update was 7 days ago, so they're not back. They're not back, chat. I lied. They're gone. No, they're never coming back. I lied.
It feels like it was written by a real person, and sometimes it's even actually funny. And now I think that's because one of the owners of this channel, and yes, I say owners because there are 3 of them, we'll talk about that more later, probably wrote this script entirely on their own. Maybe they used some help with ChatGPT, but I don't want to speculate on that. And what's kind of sad about that is it shows the potential for this to actually be a good channel. If whoever wrote this video just wrote all of their scripts and did the analysis, they'd probably make pretty good videos, genuinely. But of course, that is not the case. And one thing they do in this video that I thought was kind of cute was they analyze a South Park episode that they think correlates to the situation.
South Park already made an episode on spreading misinformation.
In fact, they even go as far as to challenge our love for South Park.
I'm doing so in the South Park way. Something the Avengers could have also done if they loved South Park a little bit more.
But okay, Ceric, I can respect that. I think that's a good idea, and you know what? I'm gonna take some inspiration from you. So we're gonna take it back to the video that started all of this. And in this case, you guys get to play...
Oh, by the way, we didn't cover the worst part of Ceric's video. It was when he's like, I love you guys way more than I love South Park more than you guys, which is why our small channel that's been only around for a little while does not take any sponsorships. And loving South Park was like a metric that could be, I guess, quantified by the number of Raycon deals that people do.
Cartman, and I'm going to break
that
down
one
all
was
of your
bad.
narcissistic sociopathic behaviors, including manipulation, gaslighting, minimizing, shifting blame, and invalidation. This should be fun.
They could have really called themselves Bloom and Friends. Missed opportunity.
Now, I'll be the first one to admit, he has a point there. That was definitely a missed opportunity. So then they address the issue of the AI narrator.
Well, no. But you can never really believe that.
Now, all right. Knowing what you now know, this is like the single worst section of any of these videos. Because there's just like, he's like, hey guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that I actually don't care if the channel is using AI, and they should just be disclosing it, dude. I don't actually care if they use it on their videos. And then this is like the most absurd... And you know how it ends, too, which is even funnier.
Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but there are a few things here.
Perhaps making a weird noise would help you get convinced I'm not AI. Maybe even the squeakingness of my chair as I rock back and forth. Or what about if I talk all the way back here away from the microphone? What about saying something like shamalama ding dong?
First of all of that is absolutely possible with a good AI narrator. The sounds are very easy to replicate. Here's one that I made of my own voice saying the same thing. What about if I say something like Shama Lama Ding Dong? You can wiggle your chair into the microphone as much as you want, but it doesn't do much for me. I decided to play around with 11 Labs a little bit, which is the most...
Dude, this guy is in 11 Labs, bro, firing off tests.
Popular text-to-speech AI, and it's kind of terrifying just how good it can get. For example, you probably didn't realize that the last 30 seconds of this video have been narrated by an AI, including this voice speaking right now. Seriously, I didn't have to speak any of this in real life. I just uploaded some of my narrations from previous videos.
But he doesn't care about AI, though. I know.
Website and made a clone of my voice that is borderline indistinguishable. And this is After about 10 minutes of messing around with this thing, if you give this to someone who knows what they're doing, it would be impossible to tell. Okay, I'm back. Don't worry, this is the real me, not the AI. But
I could tell though. I mean, I knew it was coming, so I was listening for it, and you definitely can tell, but on first watch through, I didn't realize the gag.
Be sure that a lot of you probably just fell for that. So when Ceric Artman sarcastically says things like this,
I'm just using next level AI voiceover that's capable of doing all this.
They're intentionally trying to gaslight you into believing that AI technology isn't as good as it actually is. But it is that good, and they know it's that good.
Finally, if you believe it is real, the next claim will be that the narrator is just a voiceover artist hired by a Pakistani company, written by a Kenyan samurai, edited in India. Super Craig to the rescue.
Again, listen to what they're doing here. They're intentionally framing this as if this is the most insane point of view to have, when they're literally talking about some things we showed evidence of in the previous video. The Kenyan writer and the Indian narrators, those are both facts, and yet they're treating this like it's crazy to believe it.
There's no winning on that part. If that didn't convince you the narrator is not text-to-speech, you'll never be convinced.
Well, actually, there are quite a few ways that you could convince us. The most obvious being talking into a camera, but obviously I'm not going to say that they have—
Bro, get in Discord. Show me your fucking face.
Have to reveal their face. So instead, they could just take my offer that I sent to their business email as they requested.
Oh, okay. There's the email.
Or the one I sent to the writer on Discord, both of which offer a face-to-face Discord call with this person so that I can verify that it is indeed a real person. I told them I would keep their face completely private. I wouldn't show anyone. Now, if they're having a tough—
Again, though, but like, he's going to say this, but like, why would I trust you if to not just blow my face up and put it all over the internet?
I'm believing that because obviously—
Because like, the way you put all these conversations out with my editors. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he would do that, but I also think that's not an unreasonable fear.
I haven't been very honest with my intentions in the past, then they can just go ahead and call me over voice too. There doesn't even need to be video. As long as I can hear them speaking live, I have no issue with that. I would admit I'm wrong about all of this. But it's been a week since I sent those, and I haven't gotten a response yet, so I don't think we're going to know the true answer anytime soon.
Then comes our scripts, which Blooms also claims is AI. So are they made using AI? You know the answer to that. You watch our videos.
You know the answer to that. That is kind of manipulative.
So a few things here. First of all, notice how small that text is on screen that says what I actually said. In fact, it's so small. I've watched this video probably 4 times now, and I literally just noticed it for the first time rewatching this. And again, just more of this manipulation saying, listen, you're smart. You know that we don't use AI. Blooms is absolutely crazy for even thinking that. And spoiler alert, that's not going to age well. So then they move into the classic you are obsessed with me routine.
This guy is a real fan, an obsessive fan, the kind of fan who makes you consider applying for a restraining order.
Again, just another way to deflect criticism coming at them.
You see, when you're a small YouTuber, your videos are supposed to be crap because you don't really know anything yet. But our videos weren't crap, which is a massive red flag number 1.
So they immediately frame this as if their videos being high quality is what made me suspicious, when in the video, I actually say the exact opposite. And I quickly realized that my initial impression of high quality content—
Yeah, he literally admits that this is true, right? Listen to the way he words this.
Video, I actually say the exact— They immediately frame this as if their videos being high quality is what made me suspicious, when in the video, I actually say the exact opposite. And I quickly realized that my—
Yeah, I mean, that's not true. You literally said, wait, this video is like way too high quality for a channel that just was created. So that's not the case. Yeah, you changed that opinion later, but your initial impression of was, wow, this is a high quality video for a new YouTuber.
Initial impression of high quality content was pretty far from reality. Now, what I do say makes me suspicious is the fact that this channel is clearly being worked on by people who are experienced, and they're uploading once every 2 days. 7? They uploaded 7 20 to 30 minute long analysis videos in 18 days. So it was immediately—
Yeah, this is just like a whole part responding to something for no reason. Like, I don't think the guy's statement is wrong.
Obvious to me that there were multiple people working on this channel. Never once in this video do they mention the fact that my biggest reason for becoming suspicious of them is their upload schedule. In fact—
Yeah, because that wasn't your first reason.
Armchair Analysis—
That's all he was saying.
Who's one of the channels that Ceric was very clearly inspired by, made high-quality videos from his very first video, and I was never suspicious of him. And that's because he uploaded at a reasonable rate, one that is—
That's because he didn't step out of lane. No, I totally could see a version of this, though, where the channel wasn't AI, and they just bullied some guy for no reason.
Very possible for someone working hard. So then they talk about how I put their description—
Like, based off the research from the first video, I wouldn't put it past them to have fucked that up, but we don't live in that world. This isn't the world where— Like, you know what, Mr. Beast, right? When we were talking about James Warren, we're living in the world where the test came back or whatever, like the Freedom of Information request came back, and James Warren, like, did get charged for beating his girlfriend, where, like, nobody would actually have been held accountable for that because they were flying from the hip, and in this case, they landed the shot.
Into an AI detector. Now, I want to lead this part by saying that I have since learned AI detectors are not very accurate.
That's some kind of research you should probably do before you pretend they're accurate. Like, I mean, that is a well-known fact that those things put up false negatives and false positives. Come on, man.
So I do not believe that the positive they received from this AI detector necessarily means it was AI generated. So instead of focusing on that, I'm going to focus on how they respond to this.
But the description is not the video. It's a video summary and generic copyright disclaimer to fit the YouTube guidelines. And generic disclaimers. Yeah, those will probably be detected as AI. Bloomsy would never intentionally try to deceive his audience by leaving that out. Or did he perhaps do that?
No, I did not do that because as you show in the video, as my screenshot showed in my video, I intentionally excluded those disclaimers when I put it into the AI detector. I mean, you can literally see it on the screen. The only thing I put into those AI detectors was the video summary. And for the record, while I did make it clear that these AI detectors do not prove anything, the reason I used one in the first place was to essentially show what was obviously written by ChatGPT was written by ChatGPT. Now, I'm not going to outright say that their descriptions are written by ChatGPT, but all I'm saying is that if you put one of their titles into ChatGPT and ask for it to make it—
And realistically, if all the descriptions were written by ChatGPT, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't know why anyone would. Who fucking cares about video metadata that nobody reads? Would you feel bothered if your favorite YouTuber started using ChatGPT to write descriptions?
A description for you, it will look nearly identical to this. And as I said in the video, this in itself is not a big deal at all. I do not care if anyone uses ChatGPT to write their descriptions. It's literally the least important part of a video. The only reason I even brought it up was to further establish the pattern of dishonest behavior that we've seen. Again, on its own, this isn't the worst thing in the world, but it—
No, it's not. It's not even really a point.
Continues to solidify this pattern of not so ethical—
I would be very bothered for a fucking video description. Come on, bro.
Behavior.
You can bet your left nut that he ran every single one of our video scripts through 100 different AI detectors, and
I couldn't get anything conclusive.
Bummer.
First of all,
this is my favorite part where he goes through like 50 different, like he goes through this whole rigmarole to just say, yeah, he couldn't find anything conclusive.
I did not run all of them. I ran a few, and some of them came back positive, some of them came back with nothing, so I just decided this wasn't the best way to do it. And again—
So anyway, you couldn't find anything conclusive. Thanks.
And as we just discussed, these AI detectors are not accurate, so this really means nothing. And even if they were accurate, I make it very clear from the beginning—
But you didn't know they weren't accurate. You thought they were accurate, and then you found that half of their thing— Wait, he thought 100% they were accurate because he used that as an example in his previous video. Now he's admitting that he tested every one of their video scripts, and then after doing that, half of them came back as not written by AI, and he just didn't show those results when he thought that they were conclusive. That is very funny.
That I do not believe these scripts are entirely AI. What I say is that—
Yeah, he got answers that he didn't like, so he's like, this clearly isn't a good test. But he like left in the other one.
Or at least partially AI, which they do technically mention.
Yeah, it's like wildly unethical.
Going through an entire section arguing as if I had said everything they write is AI.
It's wildly unethical and extremely stupid to tell everybody your thought process behind that, as if that didn't look like crazy suspicious.
And that what they are most likely doing is having ChatGPT write a rough draft, which they are then going over with a real person and adding jokes and making it more lifelike.
I also like that he says stuff like that, knowing that he also has the interview where they say that's how they do it.
Specifically in the scripting, since it seemed like they had—
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the previous video. My bad.
A real person and adding jokes and making it more lifelike.
Current.
Specifically in the scripting, since it seemed like they had a writer that would take the AI written script and piece it together to make it more human-like and add the jokes. It seemed like these scripts were AI generated, and then they had a person go through and edit them, which of course, even if AI
that's what they did.
Detectors were accurate,
so he's right.
It would be nearly impossible for them to detect this due to all the editing, which I felt okay with glossing over in the video because obviously if they have a person editing their AI scripts, it's not going to be detected.
AI sucks. We're sure you've tried it. AI can definitely make a video, but it doesn't make any video a human would enjoy watching.
Now, once again, this is a straight up lie because these people know that there are plenty of channels on YouTube that are run entirely by AI scripting. There are channels with hundreds of thousands to millions of subscribers whose entire channels are literally just getting ChatGPT to summarize episodes of anime or anything and having it read by a text-to-speech AI.
Well, guess what? Dude, scripts follow a structure.
And I also want you to remember
that bad video reviewers are in shambles over one simple trick.
This little part where he says scripts follow a structure because that has a much more literal meaning than you think it does, as we'll find out later.
Blooms went over all my videos and comments.
No, I didn't. I never claimed to have gone over all of your videos or all of your comments. That's just a straight up lie.
So he must have also seen this comment placed about 3 weeks ago on—
This is unreal. We didn't even show this part. He's like, he claims to have gone through my stuff. He did not see this YouTube comment from 3 weeks ago. That's such a crazy thing to say.
Our video about puberty. where, you know, we were already
What's crazy is there are people who think that recap shit is what Mauler does. Dude, that's so fucking crazy to me, because Mauler will make a video that's 2 times the length of the movie, that is thoroughly packed with critiques, okay? And they say that just so they can, like, I guess, reject his opinions about things, because they obviously, it's 2 things, right? They're saying that he does that, and therefore they use that to write him off, but they also will call him, like, a fucking... like a piece of shit for the opinions that he has. So it's like, it's twofold. It's just trying to like make sure that he's not credible or whatever in that sector, which is complete bogus. He's one of the better ones. I think if I had to pick, it's between him and JX's long form content when Jay posts. They put out some really good shit too. I never watched Doctor Who, and JX's video was like a thoroughly good watch for 5 hours, and I was watching that on like multiple days or whatever. I would put on like 40 minutes here, 40 minutes there, and I didn't even like that. I've never even seen the show, and I thought it was cool.
multiple people helping the Pakistani, Indian, Kenyan samurai produce them. We were pretending to be one person here, though.
So no, weirdly enough, I did not see their single reply to one comment on one of their videos. You see, what they fail to mention here is that 3 weeks ago was already after my interaction with the writer. And of course, at that point, they knew that I was onto them, so of course they're going to go back and try to get out ahead of it. And what this comment does, as well as this video as a whole, is try to downplay the scale of their operation by saying, you know, we got a few people in.
Who cares?
But as we will see, this is also a lie.
Who cares?
The description was also changed some
You're
time
raped!
ago. That's why
You're totally raped!
Dude.
Got from some Pakistani person on Facebook, where it was still the old one.
Notice here how they say some time ago, they don't give the actual date, and that's because this was also 3 weeks ago. In fact, as I mentioned in the video, Johnny caught them changing it the day they changed it, which was November 3rd. And they don't really say anything about the fact that at first they changed it to another lie, saying a team of 3 friends, which is not true.
But that doesn't fit their narrative, so they didn't bother to share it until the very end of the video.
Ooh, yikes.
Hilarious meme there, I appreciate it. You see, what they do here is they try to frame it as if I left this to the end in order to hide this, but considering these are the guys that seem obsessed with the structure of scripts, they should have been able to realize that this entire video was in chronological order, and because-
This was a huge mistake on your part. This was a wild mistake on your part. I'm sorry. That's you gave them the opening to do that. And I don't think the stuff that came after was really substantive either. But like easily the best portions of that was like the third quarter of the video. And just running through where like, hey, I didn't find anything was not a good... There was no payoff in that first video to you like tracking them on Facebook and then like finding fucking the editor group or whatever. There was no payoff for that ever. That's just bad writing. What did you cut from that clip? Oh, there's like a second part there. Yeah. I can't play that.
These are the guys that seem obsessed with the structure of scripts. They should have been able to realize that this entire video was in chronological order, and because it was at the end, it was one of the most recent things to happen. Our investigation was pretty much finished at this point. I just spent the rest of November compiling all this information, as well as creating the actual video. And of course, the only reason they even did this in the first place was to set up this exact argument. And what's funny is they could have made this a much stronger argument if they had just admitted it in a video or even in a community post or something. But instead, they decided to admit to it in 2 ways that they know 99% of their viewers will not see.
Now, is multiple people working on a channel a crime? Well, in my case, yes it is. Brothers?
This is kind of soy too. Okay, here's his defense for the Johnny Two Cellos comment. I don't know if you predict it, but it's bad.
I have a nasty habit of taking all the credit for what is usually a group project. I apologize profusely for that crime, Lord Bloomsy. I am not going to become a we as a personification, though our avatar is still a separate entity.
First of all, I did specify in the video that there is nothing wrong with a team. There's nothing wrong with having multiple people working on a channel. Most YouTubers will begin to outsource work once they're already well established, things like editing and thumbnails. In fact, I say that several times. But I definitely think I could have been clearer about what the difference is between Ceric Artman's team and Johnny Two Cellos or LS Mark's teams. Johnny Two Cellos and LS Mark are both YouTubers who put in the work themselves to build their audience over time. They laid the foundation for everything that would become a—
This sounds such like egotistical jargon, and it's so fucking grating on the ears.
Their channel. And as they've grown and
it's different because Johnny was able to grow on his own without his team.
Wanted to work on more ambitious projects, they have introduced people to help them work on these things.
Your position is that they're expecting this to be a person, and it's a very personal video, and you're not disclosing that there are multiple people working on it. Johnny is allegedly, not allegedly, it's his tweet, is hiring script writers. Those are no longer his opinions. If he's reading from a script. Now, it's possible that this person's only writing drafts from a script or whatever. But again, he's not the sole writer of his videos anymore. That should be something that you condemn based off of your worldview that you have shared with us. I don't think that he was famous and he did it on his own is a good excuse, because at that point, you've already built up trust with somebody. And if I started having people read my scripts, I don't know, dude. You think if I made a main channel video, as opinionated as I am, because I'm not doing just retrospectives where I tell a story. Usually most of my videos involve me being knee-deep in the drama and telling you about a portion of it, at least, that had something to do with me or an interview with me. If I hired a scriptwriter one day and I just brought him into the fold and didn't tell you guys, would you guys feel a little cheated? If my main channel came back and it posted more, but then it just wasn't me writing the scripts, I feel like people would be bothered by that. Maybe I'm egotistical, but I feel like that would be something that wouldn't really jive well, because I've already built up this persona as myself. This is me. This is who I am. And I kind of... I mean, that's kind of... I'm selling you me. I don't know. I feel like this is a worse argument than the previous one for him.
Things. But at the core of all of this is the person that the viewer has become attached to over...
Like, you can hear my voice, but it just won't be me talking. I've always felt kind of weird about the concept of a scriptwriter.
Time by watching them.
I floated the idea of letting Aiden write a script for me, but I feel like I never would have actually done it. I kind of knew he wasn't going to help me with it. Or writing a draft version. I've floated the ideas of doing that, but it ultimately never... I'd rather have not posted than post something like that.
Grow. With Ceric Artman, though, there is no Ceric Artman. He is a representation of a company. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that the narrator is a real person. If that's the case, we have already proven in the previous...
I also would never want Aiden to write anything for me, because I think that he's not very talented.
Video that all this person does is the narration. The scripts are not written by them, the videos are not edited by them, the thumbnails are not done by them, nothing else on the channel.
Me reading an Aiden script can be funny. I feel like if I disclose it, we could do a thing on the second channel where I let some idiot ghostwrite a whole video for me, and I do the whole thing in my inflection with all my music and transitions and everything. And it's literally just somebody else's shit video that I edit the whole... I mean, listen, I need to make a lot more main channel videos before I do any side projects like that.
Channel is done by them. Okay, then I guess Ceric Artman has to be the script writer, because everything comes from his perspective and it's all his take on...
Yeah, listen to this, dude. Listen to how soy this sounds.
And I guess Ceric videos are not edited by them, the thumbnails are not done by them, nothing else on the channel is done by them. Okay, then I guess Ceric Artman has to be the script writer, because everything comes from his perspective and it's all his take on South Park, right? Well, as we'll talk about later on, besides the fact that the scripts are heavily influenced by ChatGPT, there is no one guy that writes the script. There are multiple writers that each do different videos. So who exactly is Ceric Artman supposed to be a representation of? And this is something I think a lot of people didn't fully understand. There is no Ceric Artman. And this is exactly what a content farm is. And I do want to clarify, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with content farms. Once again,
Dude, I'm sorry. This is the craziest shit ever. There's nothing inherently wrong with using AI. There's nothing inherently wrong with content farms. There's nothing inherently... What's wrong with... Dude, that's all of your arguments. You just keep downplaying them.
The problem arises in the dishonesty, and I think I put it...
The dishonesty? If he said, hey guys, I'm a content farm, you guys would just be... You'd just be okay with this. You'd be okay with this guy coming through your sector, fucking nuking small YouTubers, posting fucking 3 videos, 4 videos, 5 videos per week, all of similar quality to a video it takes you guys a month to make. You would just be okay with that. I'm supposed to believe that if this guy was out and about using AI and running a content farm, you guys would just be all fucking hunky-dory with it. Because that's the argument you're making. AI doesn't matter, content farms doesn't matter, it's about transparency. Well, if he was transparent, you'd try to run him out of here too.
Really well in my first video. And this professional...
Yeah, he's literally... That's totally a lie, bro.
Cosplaying as some dude that makes South Park videos in order to avoid the stigma that comes with being a content farm, that's pretty fucked up. For example, one of the most iconic content farms of all time is WatchMojo. I have no issue with their content, but now imagine if WatchMojo branded themselves as one person and did everything in their power to hide the fact that they were a massive company.
I don't know if I'd care about that. I mean, WatchMojo makes, like, inoffensive videos. It's not drama. It's not, like, personality. They make top 10 lists. Who gives a fuck if a top 10 list presented it was, like, I wouldn't care about that. I almost don't think I would care about a media channel like this. I don't know if it matters.
working on this channel. Or imagine if IGN had a YouTube channel where they posted all of their reviews under the guise of a solo creator, pretending to be a creator like Video Game Donkey or Angry Video Game Nerd. Or imagine an Italian dude named Giovanni makes a restaurant called Giovanni's, and it becomes the most successful restaurant in the entire town. Everyone loves it, and it's all because
I can't wait for Chud to hear this part.
Giovanni decided to start that restaurant a long time ago. At this point, he might not be on the line cooking himself every night, but he's still the founder, and the reason the business is so successful is because he makes sure that everything that comes out of it is up to his standards. The people in the town are a lot more likely to avoid the Taco Bell down the street and instead support Giovanni's, because they know they're supporting a member of their community and they will be rewarded.
Bro, I don't give a fuck about supporting my community. What town do you live in? What are you talking about? What the fuck?
Quality product. Now let's imagine.
Musty, how you doing? Nick, if I hit you with a 1K dono this week, can I send you a Yu-Gi-Oh content script to try out this idea? Listen, I'm not Doomer Media, so I appreciate that. I almost would consider doing that. But I don't take money for any content ideas, so I would have to say no to that one. But I do appreciate the offer.
Imagine a different town where a Mexican restaurant opens called Bacotel. The restaurant describes itself as being created by Baco himself. This is his hometown, and every menu item has a different anecdote or story attached to it that explains why he decided that would be the perfect menu item. There's even cardboard cutouts of Baco himself all over the restaurant, hoping to one day make it big. The community is more than happy to support this up-and-comer, and they want to make his dream come true. That is until one day they realize this restaurant is actually just a Taco Bell, and the
I'm sorry, this is such a crazy I can't, dude, this is insane.
The reason they lied to everyone is because they knew they would get more business in this town if they pretended to be a part of the community rather than the soulless corporate chain that they actually are. You could imagine that the people in this community would be very upset by this deception, and this is
There's a lot of weird racial shit in this series.
Exactly what Ceric Artman is doing.
Now, Bloomsy has zero proof that we are AI, or that we're a content farm.
Dude, can you believe the Outback Steakhouse is not by an Aussie dude named John Swan, and it's actually just like a fucking Italian sweaty guy who runs the pizza joint down the street? I guess Outback is a chain, I don't know. Dude, we used to have a fucking a Greek diner, okay? I think it got bought out by a bunch of white dudes, but they still kept the aesthetic of like the Greek diner. And it's like, that's kind of funny. I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of funny.
For the AI, I mostly only had circumstantial evidence, but I did have proof that it was a content farm considering my discussions with your employees.
We also can't prove that we aren't AI or a content farm, as the narrative has already been set by cancel culture.
This is not true. You could prove it. You've had many opportunities to prove it. You just haven't.
He goes on some wild tangent about those Pakistani Facebook groups, but that has nothing to do with us.
Which I suspected is the case, and is why I specified in that video I found no evidence tying this channel to that website. I never found any concrete evidence that this channel is tied to the company.
That happened to a little family Italian place near me. Got bought out by Indians, and they just make the same food. It's like it's all bad because they don't know what they're doing.
Company. I'm of the belief that whoever made that Facebook post is probably running one of those copycat channels. I only included that in the video because I wanted a full timeline of my entire investigation, even the dead ends. But of course, they leave out the part where I say I don't have any evidence to once again try to lower my credibility by making it seem like I'm—
All right, we're gonna skip ahead because this video is genuinely awful until we get to 45 minutes, and then you just get all the answers you wanted. So let's just zoom ahead. I can't do any more. Is there anything else here that's super relevant?
What I mentioned in the first video, I really don't like the fact that coming after you guys means that your employees might be hurt by this too. I don't see them as doing anything wrong. They're just doing the jobs that they're being paid to do. But unfortunately for them, their bosses see them as totally disposable. And if they had just been honest in the first—
Okay. Here, interviews and evidence, guys. Let's go.
So now we can finally get to the good stuff, the proof. So I did 2 interviews for this. The first one was with a guy that we'll call Stan.
Hi.
He is an ex-writer for this team, and weirdly enough, he is not Kenyan.
I can't, bro. The first guy he talks to is not Kenyan. It blows up the entire thing. I'll haggle you 1K for an Aiden script video. Give me an excuse to earn this money, please. No, dude. No, I'm not. Listen, again, I'm not even opposed to these ideas. I just don't want to. I don't want to put money down for a project that I might not complete. I think that's a pretty fair takeaway. Because that's, I mean, listen, this is the same shit with Doomer Media. He's like, oh, I'll do 5K for a Hassan video. He never made it or whatever. Listen, I don't take money from... If I do it, feel free to send a donation, but I don't want to take a fucking, like a down payment for a video. No offense, seriously, but thank you.
Paul Stan.
Hi.
He is an ex-writer for this team, and weirdly enough, he is not Kenyan.
What the fuck? Oh, my
The
controller
second interview
vibrated
I
and
did
it
was
stopped
with
the
this
thing.
guy who we'll call Butters.
Hello.
Butters is an editor who was at one point hired by the team. He never actually got to edit one of their videos because he quit before that. But his specialty is in these AI content farms, and he provides a lot of insight into that world. So let's go ahead and listen to what they have to say. What happened, how you got hired, kind of just explain the process of that.
So like
Here we
a
go.
few months ago, I saw a posting on Upwork, which is this freelance writing site that a lot of writers online use. It's mostly for, like, when you're starting off, most of the gigs that you're signing on for seem like just bad content that, you know, someone is trying to churn out and pay as cheap a price as they can. So they got back to me and they were like, we could do payments through Upwork. And they added me to a Discord called
Read my
Network.
pigeon.
The title
Read my pigeon message, Nick. What is pigeon? Wait, someone else mentioned pigeon. What is pigeon?
has changed to Video Network. I
Like
don't know
Twitter?
why. So they added me.
Did you DM me something?
What is Bunty King to you? A person? Who is Bunty King?
I'm gonna donate it this week anyways. Think of it as a gift for Hanukkah. I appreciate that, dude. But you don't feel compelled to. I understand that you donated a shit ton, and I appreciate you keeping the other commentary people full. But don't ever feel pressured to send money to me. But thank you.
To this site called Monday.com. It looks like this. Each of these rows was usually assigned to a different person.
It's in your dono?
The video edit was always
My pigeon message. Oh, you wrote a message about pigeons. All right, I'll take a look at it quick. I'm gonna read through almost everything in like 10 minutes. We're almost through this. If I paid you $500, can you make a stream talking about pigeons and only pigeons while cooing like a pigeon? June 13th on National. I'm not doing that.
someone from
That
India,
I will absolutely not do. That is what I am not into doing an idea.
Kenya, like you said. You know, in that top row there, script request, there would be a document in that top part that says SH006SR, and that would be a Google Doc that would usually be something like this. And so this is like what a request would look like when they were wanting you to write a script. So usually the outline would be written in ChatGPT, and they would
Just trying to help you, poor broke gooners. Thank you. Listen, I own the official Turkey Tom merchandise, so I am no longer a gooner. We're good now.
I don't know if this works for like all of their writers. This is how it would work for me. So often it would be written in ChatGPT. The whole episode description, the analysis
There it is. There it is. So this is a person who was handed. He was a script writer, or I forgot, an editor. It was one of the two. He was handed fucking stuff from ChatGPT. No, it's a script writer, and told to alter the ChatGPT script.
The whole episode description, the analysis you should do, the take you should have, the hook, the transitions.
So Stan details to us how this company would use ChatGPT to write an outline, and then hire a writer to go over that script and make it more human-like and add jokes, exactly as we predicted.
So they obviously were lying in their video. I mean, like, very clearly. They're obviously afraid of people knowing this. That's why they left. But yeah, that was the thing. They were using ChatGPT to write, like, rough draft scripts, and then handing those to script writers, who were then manipulating those rough draft scripts into a video with the fastest turnaround time possible. It was a content mill. It was using AI. Unfortunately, Blooms was right.
Oh, and if you're wondering why the outline I showed was about The Simpsons, it's because he also wrote for the Somer Himson channel.
And it felt weird because it felt like they were still trying to use their writers basically as ChatGPT, which was frustrating because I thought, like, oh cool, I'm gonna get to write and collaborate on a team to write South Park videos with these other creators, and I'll be able to analyze and get into like all these cool things that I love about this show. But then it was so specific what they would want, and the pacing of the different points that you should make had to be done in a certain way. You would need to keep.
I feel like that's the line for me. We were talking about people like Slazo, who owned other YouTube channels that were done through somebody else's public face. Then we were talking about guys like Tom, who I guess kind of run as close to a content mill as you can go without being, I think, there. To the point where, like, in some of his main channel videos, especially older ones, it was literally just him showing up to read a script, right? And then once you throw AI there, I kind of get uneasy personally with it, where it's like, now this is not even a writer writing anymore. This is just like, and it's not even like, here's the thing, right? If a writer used AI or whatever, and I never knew about it, that's infinitely less bad than if a writer was given an AI script and forced to edit it. Because now they didn't even have an idea. There's no research team associated with this. They've cut those people completely out of the equation. The topic was selected likely by, like, write a South Park video about this. The topic for the lead writer has no say in the topic of the video that they're just handed an AI script and you are now altering it to add jokes. That is, at that point, less writing a script and more of being like an editor. There isn't, like, ChatGPT is the writer. This is the editor. There's no personality in it at all.
Tension. They would use these words and they would reference other YouTubers like Made to Express. Wait, I can send this too. So yeah, they would like send videos by other YouTubers like Made to Express.
Is this the final segment of the docket? All my dockets are fluid. If I don't get to it, it rolls over into the next stream. So this is probably the final segment tonight because we've been going for 6 hours. But I mean, I'm gonna be back in the next couple of days. We're going all the way through fucking... I'm planning on going pretty active all the way through January. I might take a little break in February, but not like a meaningful one. A break for me is dialing it back to 1 per week.
I think Rome or Road, R-O-A-D or R-O-A-Home. And they would ask, like...
Video's almost done, too. I'm pretty excited.
Can you write in this style? I have some things to say about like the way that they treated us employees, but this is just the details for now. Like, it's tough to just change your style.
Of course.
The output that you wanted these scripts was 1 script every 2 days. And I was doing them for $70 a script.
Now, for those of you who don't quite understand how low of a number that is, that's less than minimum wage by like a lot. I've never paid anyone to write a script, but I have talked to people that have, and generally it is significantly more than that. And not to mention the fact that it has to be done in 2 days. And as you'll hear, it's not just writing the script, it's also receiving edits. And that is just absolutely absurd.
If you pay your people garbage wages, you will always get garbage quality work.
I mean, yeah, he opens himself up to that.
Just like, because I'm still like a beginning writer and I want to get stuff on my portfolio. And a lot of these jobs don't pay great, especially when you get them over the internet. I'm just looking to like build my portfolio.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to do this. And I'm sure that there were people that there are.
You know what the crazy part is? When I post this segment, it's going to get like downvoted to oblivion and hated by everybody. Because ultimately, this went the way of public narrative. It's just the Blooms video has so many problems. And it's just like, I do think in like points of his video, he's just straight up lying. Where it's like, the people who want to hear me say all the things aren't going to watch 2.5 hours into the video to see me actually say them. They're going to watch the first 10 minutes, which is precisely the problem Blooms has with the construction of his video.
Are people working for them that do legitimately need those pennies? Like, they need that money. There were disagreements among them. When I say them, I mean these 3 guys that run the channel. They did seem to have disagreements about the use of AI in these outlines. One time, one of them pulled me aside into a private DM and said something like, I saw that so-and-so used ChatGPT in their outline.
You gonna stream on Wednesday or Thursday? I want to make sure I can drop my whale bomb with some gifties. If I do stream, let me take a look, because I think I'm probably gonna stream either Thursday or Friday. Probably not Wednesday. It could be Wednesday. I'm literally looking at the Rangers schedule. Wait, no, it's definitely not Wednesday. It might be Thursday. It's definitely not Friday. So yeah, I'll probably be streaming Thursday. I'm checking the Rangers schedule. Yeah. And I got something Wednesday, so I can't be around.
Fine again.
I graduate on Thursday. Awesome, Shadow Murloc. Congratulations. High school or college?
This would be a better place.
Wait, that's a fucking stupid question. It's fucking December. It's late for me. I'm sorry. High school or college? It's fucking December. Jesus Christ.
To get information from.
So he was saying basically that he doesn't want them to use ChatGPT?
Okay,
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, since I've quit, I've checked in every now and then on their writing, and in their requests, they've used less and less ChatGPT. So far, there have only been like 1 or 2 new requests, though.
In terms of like actually
Online high school can finish at any time. True.
you say it's very strict, like writing the script, obviously.
Rangers and Bruins are the only teams I respect. Musty, I was at the Ranger game literally yesterday. That's why I didn't stream on Saturday. Usually that's the day I jump on. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. All right? I was in these box seats. Usually like a former player comes up and like greets us. That just didn't happen this time. That was like the first time that never happened. The Rangers got killed. I don't even remember the score. It was like 6-1. All the discourse was whether they're going to fire their general manager, their coach, or trade players after the game. It was, I think, one of the worst highlight goals have been scored on the team, and it was whilst I was watching it. I'm going to post some shit on my private. I wore my my Meta Ray-Bans or whatever, and I recorded some video with my glasses, and it looks sick. It looks actually super fucking cool from where I was sitting in the boxes. But yeah, no, it was one of the worst game. It was the worst game I've ever been to, but it was still a great time. It is cool when you go to the box seats and stuff. They bring you food and shit. So we had like unlimited hot dogs and shit, which I don't eat hot dogs, so that kind of sucked. A buddy of mine got sick from their hot dogs, so that was funny. But they have like popcorn and fucking cookies and shit. They just bring you. I think 9/11 was pretty bad too. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty bad. I mean, I'll eat a hot dog or whatever. It's just not my favorite thing. I'm not like a huge hot dog person. And like when it's a huge hot dog, like from a stadium, it's like, it's a waste to give it to me.
Basically, how much would you have been adding to each script? Like if you could try to quantify that.
I would be writing the whole thing, and it would usually be between like 2,000 and 3,000 words, sometimes up to 4,000, and it would all be originally written. I would take a heavy inspiration from these outlines. And you know, if you want to get into like
Nick can't take the length, good one.
How frustrating these guys' creative vision is that they keep saying they have. Like they would send me these outlines written in AI, and then I
was at the same game in a box seat. Really? That's so crazy. I knew somebody else who was. They weren't in a box seat, but yeah, I was in 308. If you were around there.
Do it along those lines, and then they would send me so many notes. Retroactively because I wasn't like doing what they wanted. But you know, the frustration is like, if you know what you want,
right in front of like the banners and stuff for the players.
Sending me the stuff in AI.
Of course, yeah, of course. So technically, you would say the scripts are not written by AI necessarily, but
yeah, the scripts aren't written by AI. They're written. The drafts are written by AI. And then ultimately that is edited by a human being. So it won't pop up as like AI content farm material and shit.
You say then that they are essentially based...
He mentions in this, I don't know if we passed it, but the reason why these channels don't get sponsors is because sponsors are looking for personality. And they won't do, even if these content farms are making a ton of money, it's why those Reddit YouTube channels stop getting sponsors. It's like, if you don't have personality, one of the major things that I got away from working with the company that I work with that gets me my ads, is that most of them want face, they want you speaking it, and they want supplementary footage and stuff like that. And they'll pay more money if you do it with skits and stuff, and you're in the video. So they're really trying to avoid AI content farms and stuff. They're actively doing it, and they're trying to like do that by forcing people to show their face. So for people who don't show their face, this is a big kind of fuck you, but I mean, it's the way that they're doing it.
On an AI's vision for a script.
No, it's absolutely based on an AI's vision, and they would always refer back to this style of writing that was like, use the example from the episode, go through the scene, relay a personal...
Your Morgan and Morgan ad is great. Yeah, that was a cool one. I mean, I'm probably not gonna... I don't know if I'm gonna do them again. It was a little difficult to get the thing okayed, and they kind of weren't like super attentive with that, but I mean, I appreciated them letting me do one ad and run it 10 times. That was very nice of them. But I don't know, I might do it again, I might not.
Story / funny joke / piece of analysis, and then come back to it with like a rehook, another transition that makes people want to stay and keep watching.
Okay. I feel like that vindicates what I said about how it feels like it's just disjointed pieces of like analysis with like random tangents in between a lot of the time, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense when you describe it like that.
No, yeah, it was a very restrictive, frustrating way to write. So like, they would send me these requests and I would write the essay, and then I would get like 30 notes about things that they hadn't specified before that they wanted. And so I would end up spending, you know, the first like draft was usually about 5 hours to write with research and things. And then I would end up spending.
My favorite sponsorship ever was when Manscaped sponsored a guy I watched who had alopecia, and they sponsored someone who literally doesn't have hair. Dude, I made a joke in mine where I said, like, I even forgot I had a beard when I did Manscaped because I always keep myself super clean shaven. And like, the only time I don't shave is when I know I'm like working remote for like a few days and I can caveman out because I'm not doing anything in the middle of the week. And then when it gets to the weekend, I gotta fucking shave it off again. I've never actually attempted to grow out anything, but I'm sure it would be a horror show if I did.
Another day or two rewriting these scripts, and then
I was actually close to 308. It was me and my girlfriend. I used to play hockey before I had a spine injury, so I always go in there nearby. Well, that's really cool up until the spine injury part. I was never really any good at it. I played, I think I got in kind of late too. I started playing at like 13, and usually people are already like skating by that point. I did like deck hockey, and then I did ice hockey from there. Played high school. I got into roller hockey a bit, but it really wasn't my thing. Literally until college, when I played on like a fucking D4 and then ultimately like a D3 roller hockey team. It was fun. It was more of just like getting drunk on the weekends and playing hockey than anything at that level or whatever. But I always joke around saying I'm like the only person in this entire community who played a college sport, because technically it is true.
On top of that, writing the new ones, because I still had to get one in every other day. When you're a writer, you know that the first draft of anything is not going to be good, and it's only until like the third.
I actually led the league in power play goals one of those seasons, and it was so funny because I didn't fucking I didn't try and practice or whatever, and I was just kind of going through the motions, and my coach just kept having to put me out there because our team just didn't score goals, and I just kept scoring goals.
Third or fourth draft where you have anything that resembles like something you can be proud of. You know, when you're starting from this place of using AI and then you have to use the first draft, of course it's gonna like come out terrible. Of course it's gonna be bad.
So you were not the only writer, correct?
No, definitely not.
And how many writers were there, do you think, at the time?
Usually on Monday, I could count usually 2 other writers who I would usually not recognize, I think because they churn through writers quickly.
Okay.
So they churn through writers quickly. It's not even like a case of they were, you know, just using these writers with AI scripts. It's the writers would get churned through and then they wouldn't even be with the project anymore. So it's like even weirder. It's like, oh, who wants to do this? Yeah, I don't know if this is really for me. Okay, next guy. And the channel just keeps on going. It is kind of weird.
And then like some other scripts would be being written by these 3 guys.
So,
like this channel wasn't even around that long.
The reason I asked that is because then one of the big claims being made by Ceric Artman is that, well, it doesn't really matter if we have a team because, you know, it's me, Ceric, making these videos and I'm the main character. But my problem with that and my assumption, and as you just proved, that's not true. There are multiple writers. It sounds like a lot of writers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was so weird because I think that there were a couple times in a script where I would try to write something that was like, we here at Ceric Artman beliefs, blah, blah, blah. And then they would ask me to change it to I. Oh. And they would ask me to put in like personal stories to relate to the viewer in the first person. Like when I was in high school, blah, blah, blah happened.
You see where this is kind of getting a little weird now? And it's like, I don't want to, like, I don't know. I don't want to justify all the stuff that was wrong or weird in this video, but ultimately, like, this guy landed exactly where he wanted to land. This is getting weird now, right? This is, like, perfect for everything that he could have possibly wanted them to say.
And, like,
that is great. That is fascinating.
It's one of those where it's like, you always wonder when you see shit like this, did this guy have knowledge ahead of time that he can't show? Like, he talked to, like, a whistleblower and then had to piece the whole thing together? because I could understand that. It's like, you know, the outcome, but you have to get there. If this is one of those cases, I would be more charitable, but it just doesn't seem that way.
Considering all their claims of not trying to hide that.
But I don't understand why these guys are so worried about just having that as their brand.
It certainly wasn't
why
presented
hide
that
it?
way,
If you're
obviously.
going for personal connection and authenticity, then be authentic.
And you're running a massive company of people doing this, basically. It's like that you can't be actually authentic, because then it would just be the opinions of 15 different
Backups.
people. But then they can also try to have the benefits of authenticity, and everyone loves me because I'm such an authentic dude and, you know, just a YouTuber. And they can have the benefits of that, not look like a content farm that like is soulless and no personality.
Not much proof that the guy worked for the channel. Well, I will allow it, based entirely off the fact that the voice actor himself is now involved with these videos, and the channel has disbanded the entire Discord server and quit. So I would be a lot harder on this editor guy and a lot more scrutinizing if I didn't already know the ending is they quit. And I don't think, like, they were super aggressive, and then this testimony came out, and then they deleted the Discord server. So that tells me something. And maybe I'll eat shit for that. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I do think the fact that the voice actor is now working with the Blooms guy and their channel is dead is a line to credibility. Spoiler, we went over it before. The rest of the chat already knew, sorry.
They sent me to this course once that was just this big Google folder that had all of these documents and videos that were a tutorial on how to create content farms, on how to create content that is engaging. And they would always refer that back to me when I would not go by the format that they had asked for.
Could you send me who those dudes are that run everything?
For sure.
I would like to also point out, I've received a lot of comments saying, you know, just
yeah, they really should have. They would have posted like 4 to 5 videos by this point if they were still active.
These guys,
they also removed all their community posts as well.
Guys do this, you know, you can't really blame these guys in poor countries that are just trying to make a living. And I actually very much agree with that, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to make this video. As I'm looking at right now, the 3 people that run this that are definitely making the most money are white dudes. Not Indian, not Kenyan. These are 3 white dudes that are running this channel. Oh yeah, and upon doing some further research into these dudes, they're not just white dudes. All 3 of these guys are from the Netherlands. I even found one of their Instagrams, and on their Instagram, they had a picture of them holding 2 100K YouTube plaques, which of course would mean that they have many more channels, most likely, considering none of the channels that we know of have even close to 100K. And this guy also found an article where he talked about how he started in January of 2023, and within 6 weeks, he was able to quit his job and go full time. So yeah, these guys have made an insane amount of money doing this, and they are probably running many more channels than...
Yeah, what they're probably doing is paying ahead. That's another way that they're doing this, because they have all these channels that are already successful, making tons of money. So they can do what all these streamers don't want to do and put more money than they're making into their channel to grow it faster, which is a luxury people only have if they're successful in multiple channels.
We even expect them to be.
The idea of like being brought into a team of creative people to do this faceless YouTube channel was exciting, because I thought we would actually be like collaborating together and making like stuff.
All right, let's move on to the next guy.
But I think the biggest issue and the thing that really wrecks the
why is this most
replayed? God, there are details I wish I could give. If you ever do a follow-up video, I'll think about giving more details. They gave like alternatives to arrays, and it wasn't enough, and then I left.
So for these videos, you were basically aware of essentially every single position of people working on this. So did you ever see who was doing the narration?
If you look at the graph I sent you,
I'm looking at it right now, and I notice that there's a little there's a little empty thing there.
I had honestly never noticed it before your video, but it's always empty.
It's always empty.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. That is very, very interesting.
It's probably the last thing that gets done before the video is posted, so they don't graph it.
And see, the whole point of this document, it's not going to be the final product, and I think that's and it's not going to be even close to the final product, I should say. That doesn't mean revise one
follow-up video. I hope Blooms never makes a video ever again. Yeah.
So you can't just ask someone to revise a AI. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one.
All right. I think that there's more here. If you want to watch this Blooms video, it's here. I'll link it in the video when I post the VOD. But yeah, that's the main point, is he brings on people.
South Park Tano here. The internet.
Ow, that was painful. Oh my god. All right. Let's take a look at this, though. Apparently, there's some more follow-up stuff that he's posted on his community tab. This is the huge update. I've seen a response from... Okay, so here. So the editor that was kind enough to help out with the Ceric stuff, I call him Butters in the video, was recognized by his boss. The dude is very popular for his YouTube automation and was fired. So now that the cat's out of the bag, go show him some love. His YouTube channel is Cake Hat Zombie. I've linked his Twitter where you can see his editing portfolio. So that's the update. We've also checked out this part right here. This is the same thing that we read before. Every response, they blocked mine and my friend's ability to comment on the video. You have severely fucked up with this one team. Still underestimating us. Ew, soy, L. So this is the Cake Hat Zombie guy. Here. Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. Okay. Followed by Paige Christie on Blue Sky. Editing portfolio. Updates. I got a few job offers. Recently went on an interview with a previous job I worked on. My boss for another job heard my voice and ended up being let go. I had not gotten work from him in 2 months, so I lost a small opportunity. I'm chilling. Thanks for the support. What is that? All right, this is risky touching it. Oh, hi, all of my DMs. Cool. Sick. Why did Cam Nuggets send me something? I need to go look and see what that was. When did Cam Nuggets DM me? Oh. They were telling me about... I don't want to I don't want to throw anything, but that was actually nice of them. That was helpful. I didn't know that they told me about this earlier. Based. Currently locked in my workplace. I'm sorry. Well, I recommend you watch a Mauler video to get you through it. Put it on in the back place. In the back place. What the fuck am I saying? Put it on the back room, or if you don't have a back room, put it on your fucking AirPods or something. I don't know. I want to ask AI to summarize Bloom's videos for me. That would be best. Alright, guys. It's fucking 6 hours, 30 minutes. That's a long stream for me. I'm gonna read some donos. You guys were awesome as usual. You hit way too many goals.